be okay. But just make sure you got a good one.
I'm going to go get a haircut.
Shout out to Harvey Keitel. Let's go. It's 11 o'clock. It's past 11 o'clock. They owe us a couple of minutes. But that's okay because the Bash Brothers are going to go for an extra 5, and we'll be back at about 2:05.
Gotta go for extra 10.
Maybe an extra 10.
All right, see you guys.
Go get them, boys.
Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That right there is your boy Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. And it's an interesting day in the market right now, Joey. But let's shout everybody out before we get right down to business. We got all class Adam DeLuce and the OG Darwin. Shout out to the two there. We got, who else, man? We got Custom All-Time High. Shout out to the other OG, Other Zinc. We got A-Holt, Notorious Dingleberg, BD Gaming. And we got A-Trek 2K, KC. Shout out to KC 526. Casey, what's up with that 526 number? Because my favorite 3 numbers is 525, so I want to know what's going on there. My birthday, right? What else? We got Super, no, yes, Custom, ATH again, Johnny Troll, MF, Dangerous, he's so dangerous, Duke, 684, J Haas, TX, Kirk D, 1485. Who else we got, man? Mike P. D. Ryder. We're all yelling at the same time your name, Mike, there. So you're getting love on the floor over here. We got Yak 6203 and Jaguar Nut. All right, Joey, I'm just going to get everybody apprised of what I'm doing over here. We're doing it freaking live right now on THAR. This is breaking out. We just got into the high of the day, 255, excuse me. Where are we long, Joey? We're long 222s. Here comes 50s. You better believe we're going to wet the beak at the 50 penny area. Let's set up some beak wetters, though, for a little bit higher. We're going to wait at 54s, front running that size at 55s. We're going to look at THAR a little bit more in a second, but I also want to apprise you of this other trade that we've got on Upload. UPLD up 27%. There is the first beak wetter. There is the second beak wetter. Now we're waiting a little bit higher. We got 24s on there. Let's see if this one runs. Look, the market today is red, but as we've said many, many times, these small cap gappers, they march to their own dang beat. They got their own drum beat there in their mind or wherever the delusions that they're listening to. But the fact of the matter is, Joey, they're moving. So whatever.
Delusions of Granger.
Yeah. Bruh.
Anyways, what's going on, everybody? I had an espresso martini right now, so hopefully that starts to kick in. Or no, an espresso martini, an espresso.
Whoa.
So I had to.
Me, espresso. Yo, no wonder you're talking smack. I'm like, already.
No, I had way too many of those over the weekend, so I'm like, yeah, espresso. But no, we had a little espresso right here. Not the martini part, obviously, guys. But at the end of the day, let's see what we got going on here.
See that, Katina, man? He's getting lit up over here on the show, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I need about 5 or 6 of those, if anything, to get rolling. But let's go with Conley, my guy. Let's go with Ethereum climbing back up here. 3214 is ETHA. Did I take the trade? Absolutely not. Why? Because I don't know. I can't even think straight at the end of the day. Still tired.
A couple of martinis will do that to you a little bit, Joey.
We'll get back on track there. But no, in all seriousness, guys, it's been a tough session so far, so you can see that TSLL is still negative 7.5%, so that's going to put Tesla around 3.5% there, 3.25%. So we're going to see if we can catch a bottom off this. Not the best trade. We also did take a couple stabs on the TQs off the lows. This one worked out, but these two did not. So it is what it is, right? So we won't complain too much about that. But here we go. We're starting to curl over on Tesla. We have to make this trade as big as possible. So it's not unfortunately, but we have to add into it, especially when it's working. I'm going to start relatively small because I don't want to go too heavy just yet. We'll continuously let it work, and then add and try to aim for that volume weighted average price as our primary target. But there it is. Dara brought to us, who mentioned it yesterday, that, we might see around 4,100 to 4,200 in Ethereum, and then things can turn around. Dan Ives said, Dan Ives mentioned that maybe, and then here we go. Like a beautiful turnaround and a nice VPA. Yeah, that's what I figured, Tom. He said that. Yeah, so he said that. So here it is, right? So we're bouncing off of these levels, nice stopping volume, and now we're trading at 32.23. So that would put Ethereum roughly around 4,300 maybe. Let's take a look and double check our numbers here.
Check it out, Joey.
And crypto, what are we at? Okay, so 42.64 and continuing to climb. Market starting to curl over. Tesla starting to work out. Oh, man. All right, and I'm not even going to read it. I'll let Sharif read it there. But yeah, some nice looks in ETHA, and then Tesla really starting to cook up for us here. So we'll continuously add off of these lows. This is why you just got to get out. Boom, be patient. Like I didn't take any single trade throughout this whole downtrend. Let the market do its initial selling, and then wait for that cover rally to kind of step in. And it may take a couple attempts, like it did here, but sure enough, we're starting to cook up. TSLL working in our favor right now, guys.
Can I read this?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, it's okay.
There we go. His words can't hurt me.
Well, yeah, and now we're quite rich because of that, $10 super he just dropped there in the chat. Big smile, Burdette. Lottle Joey Smalls, he missed the print obviously. Little Joey Smalls in his shorts. Sipping espresso martinis, not surprised. I guess the bar
was
all out of Cosmopolitans. Oh boy, Joey, that's a whole lot there, all packed in there. The shorts, the Cosmos, the martinis.
I don't even know what a Cosmo consists of.
I don't even know either, bro.
Yeah.
Katina, man, is it vodka or rum on that bad boy? I have no idea. Yeah.
Well, remember the little pink drink I had when we were out for dinner?
Thank you for reminding me about that, Joey Options.
Yeah.
We got video evidence of this whole thing. Let's go back over here. There we go. Your boy Joey Options was doing it freaking live. There he is. There's Adair in the background. He's got his little drink there. Now, that little cup, what was that? That was vodka?
Bellini.
Bellini.
What's the favorite? What's some of the girls' favorite wine there? What do they call that stuff?
I don't know. Rosé.
No.
I don't know, man.
Oh man, you're not helping out.
Hold on, that's the beer. So he was doing it live.
We were doing
First,
it live.
he started out with the Bellini there, but that wasn't enough, Katina, man. We saw what happened after that.
We had to go with
there was a big beer coming in, and you want to know why? Because your boy Joey Options was in vacation mode.
Yeah. So that's what we do.
All right.
We have a lot of fun when we're in vacation mode. That's for sure. We have the ability to turn it off and turn it on like that. So like the start of a car. But here it is. Tesla starting to work out for us, guys. I'm going to start to trim a little bit here. Actually, no, not quite yet. I'm going to hold it to VWAP to see if we can get to that level. That's going to be diamond hands for us right now, Sharif.
I love
Prosecco is what it was.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, Prosecco.
Gotcha. I got you. Okay. All right, guys, we're doing it freaking live. That's the chart right now on THAR. All right, we got top wick on this bad boy. We literally have the high of the day, $2.60 on the dot. Let's see if this one's going. It's still holding well above the 10 EMA, obviously above VWAP, above technical levels. Each candle has a higher low and a higher high. It's got all the right ingredients. The problem with THAR is it has a very, very stubborn short seller or profit taker at the $0.50. Every time we get in and around that $0.50, there's all sorts of chaos that's ensuing, and we're right back at that level right now, and the seller is right back there. Look at all that chop and churn going at that 50 penny area with rarely any size being taken off the posted gateways there and dropping into the mid-40s we go. So that seller, that stubborn little bugger, he's still there. So be careful for that $0.50 on THAR. But we're in another position right now, UPLD. What do I got on? 22s here, we're showing 35s. This one also has a very stubborn seller at a different area though. Let's talk about this one, we'll show the black charts. Have a look. Jeez, embarrassing. UPLD, have a look how many times we've gotten into 35 and 36 and rejected. That's the bad news, right? Because we can't seem to shake that seller. What's the good news? The good news is we're doing what I perceive to be a possible flat top breakout, where you got higher lows, you got this kind of ascending wedge pattern looking to take out that top. So that's what I'm basing my trade on right now. I still actually have one order, a dip trade, that one unfilled. It was waiting at 16s. The reason I had it at 16s was I perceived this to be the top end of the initial bull flag, 315 area. So I was front running it by a penny or two. Alas, it did not fill. So what we'll see is if we can get these resting orders here above the high of the day printed. The first one is sitting at 37s, which is exactly the high of the day. We can't seem to shake that level, at least for now. So that's what I'm going to be packing my patience and looking towards. But there's more, Joey. So I just want to cover these before we get onto your trades. CPOP is back. No, CPOP, CPOP, but I'm going to call it CPOP. This one hasn't been good to me in the recent past. It was good to me back in the day, but you know, the last few times we've traded this hot garbage, it has put us red. So I want to be very careful with how I know SSC, no, it's a sad story, but sadly it is the truth. So anyway, there's a seller of note at $1.12 over here that we can't shake. That's a triple top. That's not a mistake on your chart, but look at what is kind of setting up this triple top. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, all for that 112 breakout, Katina, man. Can you get, no, there's no other higher lows, brother. No, seriously, though. So CPOP or CPOP over here looking to take out the top. Last but not least, Joey options. Yep. We're also looking, oh, baby, we took out all my orders. I have to interrupt because UPLD just absolutely rocketed through that flat top break we were talking about. So we got no resting orders left over here. So let's go ahead and set up a front runner at the $0.50. Let me get back, though, to PLTZ. Sorry to kind of digress. This one was running yesterday. You can see that yesterday's price action right at 9:30. This one got going. And today, much of the same. In fact, more volume today, Joey options, than we had yesterday. We were doing about $1.25 million per 5-minute candle at the opening range. Today, we're doing $2.25 million volume per 5-minute candle in the opening range. So what am I looking at here? I'm looking at see what it does at the 20, and if it loses the 20, Joey options, we're looking for 11.10 volume weighted average price.
Beautiful, love it. All right, speaking of options, let's get into this right here, and this is what I was talking about to Sharif this morning. So we're going to do some simple math. We have a good friend of ours. He did something. He purchased something. We're going to talk about a little bit of UNH. Okay, so essentially what happened here is, so if you're going to buy 500 shares of UNH at $250, right? 500 shares. Oh my days. 500 shares.
Want me to take over?
No, we're good. I'm doing the math here. At $250, right? It's going to cost you 125 grand. Okay? So if you're buying 5 contracts at the value of $4,000, it's going to cost you 20 grand. Okay? So when you're $50 in the money on 500 shares, that's 25 grand. So what I'm getting at here is that your options return is over 105%, opposed to if you were just buying those shares outright, that's around 20% return. And that's the beauty of leveraging your system. What happened?
She's such a disaster,
What'd
bro.
she do?
The fact she thinks she's safe.
What did she do?
Over there because she's far.
What'd she do?
Right, because over here, you know, she was exposed to things we could throw at her.
Yeah.
Now she's got some distance. All of a sudden, she's growing. You know.
She's tough.
Confidence.
Now. She's tough now over there.
Yeah. Did you see her new haircut?
No. Yeah.
Did you comment about her new haircut?
Yeah, look great.
You see her new bangs? Show them the new bangs, Ram.
We've seen the bangs.
Where are the bangs, girl?
Yeah,
and why are you showing up on my For You page? And smile in your pictures, for crying out loud. Why don't you smile? Man, she's showing up on my For You page. Every freaking picture she's frowning in, man.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on over here, Joey? Sorry.
No, but what I'm saying is, guys, you got to understand is when you have that return you've spent and then you've doubled your money essentially. So the position value is $45,000 is essentially what I'm getting at, right? So that's what it equals to. And then that's when you get those massive returns in the options contracts, opposed to spending $125K and only receiving $25K in profits, right? That only equals about 20% or so. So that's the beauty of leveraging your system via options, all right? So there it is. We're starting to cook up here in Tesla. Should we have more? Obviously, but it doesn't work. The thing is, though, Sharif, whatever she said, she only said it to you. She didn't say it in my ear. So
No, she wrote it. She wrote it in the chat there, Joey.
What'd she say?
Look what she wrote. Math, hashtag.
Mathing.
Yeah.
Was it not mathing?
Well, who knows what she was applying there, Joey.
All right. Well, anyways, all right. We'll skip that here. But that's essentially what I'm getting at is the beauty of the returns when you're leveraging your system in trading. All right, guys. So just keep that in mind, and that's on top of what you paid for that premium. Okay. So that's how it works out. We took a little bit off Tesla right here. Not much. We want to try to hold on to the majority of this position. It's not going to wipe out my losses on the TQs. It just took too long for it to get rolling and head back towards the volume weighted average price, but we'll just slowly chip away. I was thinking about going a little bit less shares in size today, but why not, right? You only live once, so you may as well try and see what we can get cooking up. But the crypto space is super, super strong right now. Why am I not? Tell us you are long ETH. In my long term, I am. In my swing account, I am, but not currently during this intraday process. Say mass. Yeah, they say mass.
Oh, no. Fabian was asking me in my ear. He's like, is it math? Or maths. And if you're from England or anywhere in the United Kingdom, it's maths.
Quick maths.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that one guy, right?
Yeah, which guy?
The one guy who had who blew. No, who blew that song up. He was like, yeah, quick maths. And he was just rapping in the booth. You never heard?
No, I've never heard that. I'm 100. Leave
Anyways,
me alone, bro.
you're all playing that stuff. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, that's essentially what I'm getting at is just the return. The rate of the return is significantly more when you have the ability to leverage your system. It's not as simplistic as it may sound, but that's what I was just getting at. So congratulations to that one individual on what they did. There goes the Qs curling back over to the volume weighted average price. Ethereum still ripping. IBIT's still ripping. It's a good time in the crypto space considering Bitcoin did trade down to almost 112,000.
That's ugly.
Yeah.
You know what Mary S. Lyman told me to do, bro? She told me, she's like, look, man, every time you call it CPOP, maybe that's why it's crapping all over you every time you try to trade this. How about you try calling it by its real name and maybe it'll show you some love. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, Mary. But yeah, you are not wrong, Mary, because CPOP is trending quite nicely here. So it's really the THAR and CPOP show in small cap gapper world. Oh, I got to digress for a second. That is a real print. It did just spike up to 88s, and that is now the high of the day on THAR, right into 288, but as quickly as it got there, as quickly as it sold off, right back down into that $0.0002, even a little bit south of that. So we're going to keep an eye out on THAR. This is the #1 gapper in the market.
Are you kidding me?
In the moment, what happened?
I got all I owe, man.
Jesus. Right. Is this appropriate?
I don't. Yeah.
You made me feel like that many times.
Man. We call it Dreekus now, isn't it? Dreekus Duplessis.
I don't know what that is, but you clearly don't seem to think that that's a good thing. So I'll just take your word for that, Joey. But
yeah, well, you can't. Listen, you can't go into a main event when people are expecting you, hey, this is going to be one of the best fighters, toughest challenges, and then get dominated for 25 minutes
on the ground. Are we talking about that on
UFC,
Saturday?
Yeah, on UFC in the main event.
People were booing, though, bro.
Yeah, because it was literally just a wrestling match, and the one guy was on the bottom half the whole time.
What's that guy's name, that from Dagestan? Is he from Dagestan?
No, he's from Chechnya.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just equally as hard. Yeah.
Quick, are they close? I feel like they're close.
Well, somewhere. I mean, Russia's a pretty from a geographical standpoint. I don't really know, but yeah, Hamzat Chimaev, he is the werewolf of all werewolves. That's for sure, brother.
Yeah, well, that's kind of that's a name you definitely want to look out for.
Man.
No, but seriously, Joey, THAR is this it? Is this the one? At least for the moment, man, it is still putting in higher freaking lows on every successive candle. I mean, sure, it's an ugly topping till in a 288. If you punched in there, you're probably sweating a little bit right now because we're at 70. But, you know, I got to tell you, trend is still intact on this. Keep your eye out on it. This could, definitely hit maybe that 200% area. And here we go. We're breaking out into the $0.75 area again, 134%. There's 77. So we've worked our way back into the 80s right as quickly as we dropped. Now we're back, and here comes high day again. We just got into 86s. So keep your eye out now for the high day break, which is 88 to the penny. THAR now up 145% and looking to do even more. But Mary, this is why I call it that. Look at it. It already lost it. It breaks $1 by 20 cents. Are you serious, bro? CPOP got to $1.19. You know, in normal circumstances, that would be a sufficient move away from the dollar area to say, look, I think I've defended that dollar. No, man, this thing dropped more 20 pennies on a dollar name in seconds. That is ugly and tough to trade and quite frustrating if you're a trend trader. So I'm going to have to stay away from this. I'm not telling you guys what to do, but this one probably not for me, especially while THAR is around, because there's a new high of day, and there could be one momentarily, and another one, 92, Joey. This one's on the rampage to the high side. We're going to hit likely 200% maybe if we can clear that $3 area and squeeze into 3.5, 4, who knows. We're about 14 pennies away now from that $3 area. So THAR, we're going to have to set up on this one. Not going to punch in at highs, you better believe it. But yeah, we're going to definitely be keeping an eye there. Anything to do here with UPLD? We're still waiting above the, a little bit below, excuse me, the $0.5, but above the high of the day. High of the day is 45. We already wet the beak at 45, so now we're waiting at 48. Joey. Tisha.
Yeah.
THAR, next level 308. Say less, Tisha. We got to clear that $3 area. I'm going to submit to you, Tisha, that we're going to have to clear that whole dollar area, which a lot of people use as, you know, a profit-taking area. That's why it's psychological resistance. Also, the shorts, you know, they're going to be looking there as well. So let's see what the chart gives us, Tisha. But THAR is all the smoke right now.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So yeah, there it is. By accidentally, it just went all out there. I didn't mean to. I meant to take 10% off. So I just kind of fat figured that position. So, but there it is. Tesla probably heading towards the volume weighted average price. And it is what it is. So we won't complain about that. But there we go. Ethereum moving really nice here, guys. Excuse me, nice bottoming signal right there. And then sure enough, we got a key level. Let's zoom out and see what I've got marked out for us to see if that's going to come into play. So there it is, a nice resistance zone. I thought this indecision print was going to do as well, and then maybe we get a little bit of a bounce, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But we're only $4 off of those previous all-time highs, so that's going to be around $500 to $600 on Ethereum. Nice indecision print at the high that I was referring to not too long ago as well. So yeah, now it's just where's the next trade? Do we get involved? Are we going to be looking for indecision prints at the volume-weighted average price and then fade back down towards the lows? I don't know if we're necessarily going to, but I like the rebound that we're experiencing right now in the overall market. So it's just be patient, wait for those VWAP retests, and then maybe you can get a continuation of the trend and head back to opening price. And I think that's going to be the game plan for me, and I'm just speaking out loud, right? So keep that in mind. Other than that, what I was also looking at here, where is it? I love how this works. Okay, anyways, I'll bring that up here momentarily. So Tesla back at VWAP. The TQ's a big time recovery, and this is where we took some losses. Added into this, we had an indecision print at the low, and the volume was supporting it, but it decided that it wanted to take an additional leg lower. So there we go. We stop at the break. Momentum started to pick up, and I'm like, all right, I got to get out of this trade. This one I go heavier. We take some off, and then we get stopped out break even. And I'm like, all right, we're going to slowly curl over here. And the thing is, when you go one risk unit, now you're tight. Your stop is significantly tighter, and it doesn't allow you to hold things very much longer than what you need to do, right? So I got stopped out of that, and then I was just like the whole speech that I was giving everybody time to switch the playbook up and just kind of modify it. So I just listened to those rules. I'm like, all right, let me avoid the TQs, considering if some of the big tech names are really, really weak, I don't want to be trying to trade the overall market to the top side if the likes of NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, etc. are continuing to move lower. So I just abandoned that, and I'm like, let me get involved in a single stock. And then that was Tesla. Started to form those indecision prints at the lows. Didn't work out on the first try. Rebounded. I'm like, all right, there we go. Just one last liquidity grab before we climb back towards VWAP. And then sure enough, here it is. We enter there, and then we add another about 60%. Should have doubled it up. Should have, could have, would have, but it is what it is. And then sure enough, a nice climb. And then that was the accidental all out right there. But Ethereum, at a low of around $31, Sharif, now trading at $32.59, and it doesn't look like it wants to slow down. So shout out to Tom Lee saying midweek, we're going to get that turnaround, and then maybe we even push. I only sold 50 shares of my ETHA position, and this morning I said to Sharif, like, I should have sold more, but never mind that. He said diamond hand that Deontay Wilder, and continued to hold. So I'm like, all right, yeah, just stop micromanaging it, and then just let it ride. If it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If not, we won't take a loss on it whatsoever. I was gonna allow my unrealized to get to a specific level, and then I was just gonna close the position, and then the probability of me getting a better price is there, considering if it were to continue selling. That's all I got.
All right, man, I like it. Travman wanted me to look at CUPR, so we're gonna start with the daily on this. So what is this? This was hovering at $5. It started trending up a little bit all the way up into 10. Corpina Holdings Cayman, what does this company do? Biomedical and biotech company engaged in commercialization and development of chronic wounds as well as operating in the health and beauty sector. Okay, cool. It clearly had some outlying event back on the 14th, sold off on the 15th. Today is the 20th of August. Let's look at the intraday trade. So he says it's low volume. Let me just read what he said. Give me your thoughts on it. Looks like bottom low volume. Yeah, the thing is, it's still putting in lower lows and lower highs. Maybe not exactly lower lows on every successive trough, because you still haven't lost the 82 penny low of day, but you're at 82 and 3/4 penny right now. So, and you're also straddling the 10 moving average, which is the green line there on your screen, from the south side as opposed to the north side. So you're right. And to say that the volume is low, it's done 1 million shares, but it's also an 80 penny-ish name. Look, can you explain to me what happened here? Like, what is this? This looks like an earnings release at 4:30. I can go back on the news and look, but this thing exploded from $10 to $37 and then step down. This is the 5-minute chart in a Christmas tree retracement, which is an upside down V. Up and then quickly is down. Then the next day, it gaps substantially from 8 1/3 in the pre-market or at around 10 o'clock. And then it looks like it halted or something, and now it's 80 pennies. So I'm gonna need a little bit more information, and my news blotter doesn't go that far. Yeah, Neil, it's quite bamboozling, this one. So let me know, Travman. Just tag me, brother, so that I can see your comment. Otherwise, it'll get mixed in with everybody else's. So let me know what happened with that, because that looks interesting, to say the least. But if you're looking just from the intraday, it doesn't look like a good long Trav. In fact, we just breached the low of the day. We got to 80 and 1/3 pennies right now. So definitely not a long. I don't know if you're looking short. He says the company came out and said they have no idea of recent stock volatility. Okay, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so that's probably it then. Yeah, that's one of those tough ones where you're halted pending news, and then the exchange demands from the company a reason why it's moving. The company responds, tell them, we don't know. And then the market says, okay, so nothing's afoot, sell. And, you know, it may not happen exactly like that, but that's typically the course of action. So doesn't look good, Travis, from there, brother. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I hate to report to you like that, but the daily trend was a little sus. It was putting in those higher lows incrementally with no news, and then you get that aftermarket move when there's no volatility halt parameter to stop it, right? Because it's at 4:30, and then it retraces all the way back down. It stinks, Travis. It stinks. Without me knowing more, it really does not smell good. And you know, I threw on some cologne today, so everything's good.
What kind?
What did I do? What did I put today? My sister sends me cologne for every birthday, so I've got a ton.
Yeah?
She threw on some Chanel, a little Chanel.
All right, I see you.
Yeah. I got so many, Joey, and I never buy any of them. They're all
Lucky.
gifts, right?
Lucky
Yeah.
man, they're expensive. Stuff's expensive.
Well, you know, I wouldn't mind a little diversity in the gift giving, especially from the old big sis.
Yeah.
You know, you want to throw in a little car or something.
Whoa, hey.
Now that I'm carless, bruh.
What do you think? Maybe
Send me. Yeah,
you can return those.
I'm a scrub now. I'm in the passenger seat of my best friend's ride.
That's
right?
great. Oh, that's crazy. And the oops.
I'm okay with that, though.
Yeah,
It's by design. It's by design, right?
I mean, that's the beauty of living kind of in the core as well, too, Sharif.
Yeah, exactly.
You get everything that you need. You just walk to the grocery store and stuff. Is it far from you?
Subway too, bro.
Yeah.
Like Loblaws down the street. They're shutting down the Whole Foods by my place. Apparently, two Whole Foods are getting shut down in the city.
Oh, wow.
And they're saying it's nothing to do with tariffs, which is like,
okay.
it's nothing to do with tariffs.
Right.
There's no buy Canadian push at all on this side of the border. Come on, now let's not.
None of that noise here.
Illusions.
Yeah, exactly. Illusions of green.
Get a huffy? Sharif, what does a huffy mean? Am I even supposed to say that word out loud?
I don't know. Who knows?
What's a huffy,
I don't
Joey?
even know, man. These kids got some wild
Mr.
terminology
Easy
these
Street's
days.
wilding in the chat.
Yeah. But yeah, let's take a look at the top performing sectors, guys. Top 3 today, we have the energy sector up about 0.75%.
Okay.
Then we have the real estate sector up 0.5%, and then the financials also rolling today at 0.5%. The bottom 3, comms in that third last place, guys, down about 0.7, and the consumer discretionary down 1%, and then the technology sector is down 1.25% right there. So shout out to technology and company starting to pull back here. I like this recovery that we're experiencing in Ethereum. Let's pull up the actual underlying here. I'm going to talk crypto throughout the day because this is what we're sitting in. So that's a nice bounce off of these levels. You see we had that marked out, and then now we're starting to get somewhat of a rebound. So if we can get about halfway to about that $4,400 level, then I like our chances of a complete recovery and then a possible retest of this all-time high or this previous high right there. So you got to be patient on this. If it breaks this low, then I will most definitely be getting out of the position and then just waiting. And then I'm going to manage it slightly different. Instead of going flat out shares, we're going to do obviously our hybrid system of a contract mix and a share mix on that one. So let's see, what do I like TQQs here? North of VWAP, I don't mind it, to be honest with you, but one thing to note is I would wait for the retest. Hopefully you get that, you may not, but a retest of VWAP, I like your chances a little bit more, especially if the volume starts to cool down. That's going to be really, really important. So you can see the strength displayed within these red candles. That's good. Now things are starting to slightly cool down. I mean, sellers are stepping in, but buyers have the ability to push it back up. So that means, hey, people are engaged. They want to push the price higher. But I would personally wait for this retest, and it could take a couple of minutes. But let's zoom out and wait, take a look on the daily. Okay, so if you close as a hammer here, I do like our chances even more of somewhat of a rebound. But you got to take into consideration from that peak to trough, you're only down 5% on the Qs, which isn't substantial whatsoever, considering you just climbed 60 plus, or I think we did, it was like 40%. Yeah, 45% off of those April lows to that previous high. So I'm not worried about that whatsoever. What you do want to keep an eye out on is if you run into this support level and then it breaches. It's the exact same thing that we were kind of talking about on Microsoft. Let's talk about Microsoft because it did snap that downtrend line. And then now it's substantially south of that, all right? So keep that in mind. Another monster run. And then all the vets, we were talking about this. I was looking at this price action, and the thing is, though, it will just continuously grind higher longer than you can wait. You'll be impatient, like, oh, it's not going to work, it's not going to work. But we talked about it, and I'm like, look at this PA. If you've been trading for some time, a couple of years, 3, 4, 5 years, then you know that that's not sustainable PA, and then eventually you will get a pullback, and the chances of it being deeper than what you're suspecting are drastically higher than what you think, bro.
Mr. Trendies is asking about Palantirs, Joey, and I love the question, Mr. Trendies, because if you're asking it, a lot of other people are asking it. It's a great question. It reads as follows. Did PLTR get short sell restricted? Is that why it's recovering? So the answer to your question is no. It's not SSR, which is the short form, obviously, for short sale restricted, but it's recovering what could be many reasons. It's really impossible to know, but we can make some educated guesses. And what I was pointing out to you guys on the big desk with Brendo in the morning, take a gander at where PLTR got to on the 4 hour, the 200 moving average. Likewise with the daily, look where it got to at the 50 moving average. Now, it's by no means a hard and fast rule. Thou shall buy at the 50 moving average on every time. No, there's no such thing. But it does check out sometimes when you have such an aggressive move to the high side that you need a bit of a recovery into a key technical area. Each different stock is going to have more important technical areas than the other. It looks like maybe we're putting in a bit of a hammer candle right around the 50 moving average, at least on the daily. So we'll have to see where Palantir closes, obviously, but I'll be looking out for a move back above the 50. Maybe not tomorrow, but we'll have to see, obviously, how Jackson Hole goes, but in the coming days. So PLTR, at least intraday, it's got a nice little V-shaped retracement. To go green on the day, guys, it's got a weasel all the way up to 157.74. It's well removed from that price right now, but it just recovered $7. So, I mean, there's no real reason why it can't move another $7. It probably won't, but Who knows? Who knows? So 157.74 puts us even on the day, but we're above VWAP, and we're notably at that 150 area, which is another psychological area of either resistance or support. So great question, Mr. Something or another there. I can't see your name because it's gone now, but yeah, it is not SSR. Why it's recovering, again, nobody really knows the exact reason, but we can make some educated guesses. To me, it's a good technical area, Joey.
Yeah.
So we'll keep looking at that. Just so I want to keep talking about THAR here. Tisha, I see you in the chat. You're still you're pounding the table on THAR, and I'm very, very interested in getting back in. What I'm looking at, though, is a couple of topping tail candles into 3, both of which close below 3. Meaning what? Meaning that the short sellers, the profit takers, they're all really gunning for that $3 area, trying to defend it or take profit there. So let's see what we do. The current 5-minute candle and basically every previous 5-minute candle has a higher low. So the trend is intact. And if you want to use the higher lows as your guide, well, the prior candle low is at 308, 309, right? So that, 280, excuse me. 280 is the low. The current candle low, 282. So we're still barely a higher low, but this candle does feel like it might print a new low. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, keeping my eye on THAR, looking for a better setup. My 10 EMA on the 5, the 10 moving average on the 5-minute chart for THAR is at around a little bit lower than 2 2/3. So I'd be interested in picking it up there if it loses prior bar low. That's number 1. Number 2, let's go back to UPLD. This has now got a 48 high a day. I'm actually waiting at 48, but it didn't print me because it didn't cross. So I'm going to be looking for a 48 print, then we're going to save a piece for the dream to see if we can get something above that 50 penny area. Joey, options, what do you got?
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff there. So there it is. Target hit on Tesla. Obviously, we're not in it, but just a little mistake right there. So, yeah, we'll hide that house of the rising funk. We don't say that stuff in the chat, so keep it positive or don't say anything.
Who's this idiot, bro?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not you, man. Why would you call you an idiot? Tina, man, you.
As he walked
what's going
in.
on over there?
Come on, man. Who's this guy?
The house of rising
I know
idiot
what
in the
the lunch
chat.
is, brother.
Oh, what do you got there,
I know.
Katima?
Yeah,
Tilapia? That's good. That's okay. You don't seem too plussed about it.
Yeah, sometimes, most times it's overcooked.
It's overcooked. Yeah.
I don't know right now.
You're not wrong about that. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, a beautiful recovery, guys. You got to think about it. So you go across the board in some of these tech sectors. We haven't put in a red candle, a red 5-minute, that is, in the past about half an hour, 40 minutes. So that's positive, right? We'll most definitely take that. Katina Man's been long the TQs. He's 250 in the money on the TQs,
been recovering
$6. Yeah, and this is what you want to see, right? So just be patient, wait for those pullbacks, and then maybe we can get a continuation and then head back towards opening price, right? So that's what we're waiting for. If Tesla can get rolling, I want to take a look at this name's daily. I was not suspecting this. We'll talk about it a little bit later. So here it is on the daily. You're just stuck in this range. So I think there's a trade to be had, especially once you break through some of these key support resistance levels. You just have to be extremely patient on it. If you can get in at the lower end of the range and that's where you start building, then that drastically increases your risk to reward. So that's something positive. And then PLTR, same thing here, guys. 40 minutes, no red candle, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 45, almost an hour close to with no red candle. You're about to put in one, but there's indecision print. And you go across the board, you're going to see a lot of the similar price action. I think that can give you a lot of confluence behind that trade to say, hey, yeah, it's correlated between a bunch of names. Maybe we do get that rebound and we can continue to the top side. So for me, right now, it's wait for that VWAP pullback. If there's any form of like a topping tail candle, then maybe we'll look for the continuation short. But right now, nice, strong recovery in the overall market, even though we're still negative on the day, Shreve.
All right, Neil, you ready for this? Sundial is moving, and it's moving quite nicely. Show yourself, Sundial, 5%. And I tried to tell you guys on the desk today, MSOS and MSOX were, for whatever reason, positive, despite the fact that the actual equity names themselves weren't. I was talking about Tilray, CGC, as well as some others. So let's put in SNDL here. This reminds me of the pandemic. That's all I can say about that. Sundial screams pandemic for me. Anyway, it's got a nice breakout there, above $2.12. That was the implied balance high. And then the buying has been unabated, $2.22, only 5.25%. 1% though, but a nice stair step up. Is there volume to support a big position for small size? 2.1 million shares, a little bit less than 2.1 million shares actually right now traded on the day. So it's not, you know, the biggest volume player or anything like that, but it's got a hell of a chart pattern here on its hands. It's really about whether this reverts back and reverts back aggressively. So let's see what SNDL has to offer. Yeah, we'll keep tabs on this one. I put it on the side chart, by the way. All right, I got into THAR. This is a much smaller position, and it's a super tight stop. This is the 10 exponential moving average it's at. So my trade here is based on a 10 EMA retracement and nothing else. So I'm not going to dollar cost average into an oblivion like I did on Monday and get into trouble. So here's what we're going to do. If we lose 50 here, it's over. It's a much smaller position, as I mentioned, and that way we won't give back the profits that we made on the way up. If it continues to run, I'm going to let this one run to try and get back into 3. We're going to wet the beak over here at 70s, and then we're going to let this one run. But look at Upload, UPLD taking out the highs. It's time to wet the beak. Boom into UPLD. Good look on this one. We were long, guys, from 320s, just wet the beak there at 360s. Stair stepping up incrementally. UPLD up 39% and change. Keep your eye on this one. By the way, though, I want to tell you, UPLD, it can get spready. And by spready, I'm talking about 2-3 pennies, which is, you know, significant. Not significant, but notable on a $3 name. Because if you're trying to get in and get out, you know, at every penny, it's not going to work out that way, right? You're going to have to cross on the bit to get printed, which presents its own set of problems. But UPLD continuing to go, guys, a hell of a chart pattern, basically shadowing the 10 EMA on the 5. Let's see what else this one has to offer. Let's go back, though, to THAR is losing the 10 EMA, and you better believe anything below $2.48, this will flatten out. And in fact, I gave it a lot of room in case it really got illiquid at that 250 area and everybody else was trying to get out like me. I gave it a decent amount of room there. So THAR, looks like we're going to go 1 for 2 on this, but we'll stay positive on it as a result of taking a much smaller position this time, Joey, with a tighter stop.
Absolutely. All right, guys, BMNR starting to climb higher as well, too. So a nice consolidation above the volume-weighted average price, holding those lows at 49.50, and then sure enough, you're continuing to climb and trade within this range. If you get a 5-minute open at the top end, I do like the chances of breaking through this pre-market zone. So you can see that's starting to act as some overhead resistance with multiple tests at that specific level. If it cracks lower, could be a liquidity grab, and then maybe you climb higher, so just keep an eye out on that. And it's the exact same thing that we're experiencing on the Qs. So this is what I'm talking about. Wait for that pullback. Don't just hop in right away. I wouldn't be surprised. A little bit of selling pressure within these prints. You get a retest right here, and then on the lower time frames, keep an eye out on any form of indecision, and that's going to be on the 1 minute. That's what I'm referring to. So right now, I'm not worried about what we got printing here because I like our chances of this retest and then the continue of the climb higher. So that's the game plan with that. Tesla did run into target, which is unfortunate that we didn't get to participate in that, but that's okay. We'll continue to monitor and wait for an A+ setup. I told you guys we took 3 stabs on the TQs, went 1 for 3 on that one, and then we go 1 for 2 on TSLL here. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Oh, I gotta keep doing this. I don't know why my taskbar is locked. So I gotta pull up what we got going here. And I wanna see what kind of volume we have throughout the session. So PLTR has 124 million shares traded, and it's only 11:45. So that's quite a bit of size. And then NVDA with 119 million. INTC also putting in 94 million shares. I want to see the strength in this. So it's not recovering as aggressive as the market. Let's pull up INTC here. So that was a big time dip that we've seen right out of the open from 25 all the way down to 23. That's ugly, isn't it?
That's ridiculous. That's like the umbrella pattern that Eric talks about. Look at that umbrella handle.
So yeah, this is a really ugly. This is aggressive selling, right? So extremely aggressive opening 5-minute drive, and that's the best for orbs, right? Because you can get that continuation to the downside and then get a little move from approximately, if you're playing the wick break, then you get 23.86 all the way down to 23.50. So that's 50 cents or so that you're collecting on that potential short. short. And then once it bottoms out, you can see those indecision prints telling you, hey, we're done trading lower. We're going to start to recover. And then you get a little bit of a cover rally right there. So that's INTC and some of the top volume stocks. NU Holdings has some volume this morning as well, too, which it usually doesn't, Sharif. Bouncing off of the, let's see here, I can do this. So yeah, it's bouncing off of this previous high of the day. So that's a nice target that it was displayed, but a big time V-shaped recovery in NU Holdings right there. Now, we're not getting that retest that I was looking for on the Qs, but I think if we be patient, a couple more minutes, maybe we do get that liquidity grab, considering it is starting to form lower highs. That's something positive that we can look out for. And then IBIT, not as strong as Ethereum, pulling back, did trade up to $65, but you can see yesterday we were a little bit closer to 66, and then we gapped down from that essentially in that pre-market. So we'll keep an eye out on some of these levels, some big time resistance zones at that 65.70 level, and if we have the ability to breach that, then maybe we can climb and then start to fill some gaps here, and that's going to be this one. Yeah, so there is still a little bit of a gap to be filled, and I think our chances of getting to those levels, not today, not by the end of the week, but in the near term, are pretty high, considering that Bitcoin is pretty much about over $10,000. Actually, no, about $12,000 off of that previous all-time high of 124K, trading around 112,000. So yeah, keep that in mind. Lower highs on the Qs, lower highs on the SPY on the SPY 5-minute pullback, lower volume, positive. Catch the lower end of the range. Look for that continuation. VWAP as your stop loss. If it comes there, wait again, and then sure enough, you can be able to catch along there. Sharif.
All right, Joey. Thank you, Bovin, for pointing out Bumble. I'm not really sure what's going on with Bumble, but my first thing I was going to say to you, Bovin, was Bumble's not a small cap gapper. And then before I said something that was wrong, I checked the market cap. What the hell? What the helly? When did this drop to 672 million? Oh, I need to look at the daily on this. I got a feeling. I got a feeling that the chart is gonna be hot garbage. Oh my God, Joey, look since the IPO.
Yeah.
I deleted this thing off my phone, by the way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You had that one?
I had Tinder, I had Bumble, and I had Hinge. And they're all gone, right? Well, Hinge is gonna get back. But no, but seriously, Randy, this is Bumble. This is a dating app that the women, the women make the first move. The females make the first move. So you can't reach out. And that's been the price action there since the IPO.
Yeah.
Assassino, can we show? Look at that, Randy. Yeah, well, this thing, I was looking at it, Randy. I was like, okay, well, I was about to tell somebody in the chat there that this is not a small cap, so it doesn't fit my trading style. Then I looked at the market cap, and this thing's lost all its value. Yeah, so let's see. Now it's a small cap play. Well, Randy, you know, when you lose 91% of the company's value since IPO day, it might have an effect on your market cap.
You know what I heard somebody said they should call some of these dating apps? What's left?
Can I say something to you though?
Yeah.
There used to be, do you remember Matt TV?
Yeah,
it's like SNL, right? But it was on Fox. There used to be a segment on there called Lowered Expectations. Let's go. Lowered Expectations. Man. This is too good, bro. You're killing me with that. What's left? That's a disaster. Oh, no. All right, guys. Why is my THAR position not, okay. Am I out? Yeah, I'm out. Assassino, the position board is wrong. I got out over here, so that thing is incorrect. I'm not in THAR, guys. We stopped out break even right there as it lost the doji candle. So, yeah, look, Bovin, let's go back quickly here to Bumble. I don't know why this is breaking out, brother, and the fact that it moves midday like that with only one of the 5-minute candles that has supporting volume. To me, that says stay away. So I'm going to keep my focus on Upload, UPLD. We're going to weasel back into that because that's the one that's putting in all the moves right now. Stewart D, Bumble over. Yeah, I saw that, brother. I saw it right here. Show it, Assassino, this one. I saw it, but I mean that to me is that the move Bumble option alert September 19th, $7 call sweep 21 near the ask at 22.09. 25 pen. I don't know what open interest 1576 open interest. That's all I know there, Joey options. So
call sweeps.
Yeah, this was a whole bunch of lingo that I'm not really familiar with. I saw it, Stuart. I just didn't think it was. I didn't think it was the one that moved there. Boosted red sport. I like that. Sharif, why is Nvidia having a fall? Oh, you must be from England. Having a fall, that screams England. The last couple of days, don't know if I should sell the long-term and buy. Oh, sorry, let me expand that because I can't read it. It's too pixelated. Sorry. Don't know if I should sell. Why long-term buy contracts? I'm not sure what you mean.
Yeah,
there.
he's just talking about he's thinking about getting out of his shares and then rotating into some options contracts.
Okay.
I think that's kind of subjective. It's totally up to you on how you want to manage that position. Right? Sense. Like if you feel that you can leverage your system and that's what you're looking to do, then by all means do that. But if you're well in the money and you have a solid average price on NVIDIA, I don't think it's anything to be too worried about. I mean, we are selling and it seems slightly scary, but at the end of the day, if we get a rate cut, then nothing has changed really from a macro standpoint, and that's what the market was looking for. I mean, we're in the dog days of summer as well too. We're getting at the end of the month, and we usually start to see a pullback around this time. You can go back in history and see what's going on. Like, when do you usually sell after that summer? You don't usually get a summer run like we experienced, but at the end of the day, it's just a pullback. When you run into 12, 13, 14%, then maybe you can look to sell some just in case it decides that it wants to come in a little bit more. But at the end of the day, I think you got to diamond hand some stuff because the reports were good. Earnings supported a lot here across the board, especially in the bigger names. So, yeah, I just think it's the cyclical effect of the overall market, Sharif, in my opinion, to be honest with you.
That's crazy, man. Neil, I don't know if you had an opportunity to look at what NEGG was doing again, but Newegg is ridiculous. This is the 5-minute chart on Newegg NEGG, which is great. It's a good-looking chart if you don't mind trading a $108 name as a small capper. It's up another 21% today, and I just want to bring your attention to the daily on this thing, because this is insane. Joey, I mean, is this going to be a rounded bottom galore over here? Let's flip to the weekly on this. Big Spile, where are you at, man? Because this is screaming Big Spile rounded bottom, and we all know your affinity for those rounded bottoms, Big Spile. No, but seriously though, guys, I mean, we were trading here in the depths of hell down into $4, and since that $4 time, we're up 3,200% since May. You don't sell in May and go away. You punch into NEGG, and then you come back and you're up 3,200 points. No, 3,200%. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it's one that keeps showing up on my scanner almost every day as like a breakout, a gapper. You know, obviously it had a red day, but so did the entire market. But look at this bullish engulfing candle that we've got on today, engulfing all of yesterday's price action. If we were to close like this on the day at $108. So Newegg, man, it continues to give traders more upside potential. We'll have to keep an eye out on this. Shout out to Beef Strogie. He wants me to, I know that's for you there, Joey. Let's look at SBEV for Beef Strogie there. Who's Brendo talking to? Huh. Yeah, I know. Brendo's talking up a storm back there.
He's busy, man.
All right, clearly, right?
He's busy, man.
Splash Beverage Group. Yeah, so this one was running yesterday. It looks like an earnings winner. No, I don't have any information as to why this was running at 4 o'clock. In any event, this did break out there at 4 o'clock all the way up to 220. Kind of gives back the entire move in the pre-market. And then right now, we just start exploding to the high side again, taking out the aftermarket high from yesterday at around 219, 220, putting in a new high, 229. Thank you for this one, but it's a little bizarre. Do you have the reason why this is moving? Not like, you know, it's a big deal, but when something does, you know, an unexplained move in the aftermarket and then another unexplained move here, you you know, we're gonna require here some explanation. So tag me, brother. Let me know what's going on with this one. Shout out to Beef Strogie. Tyler Verse talking about your Bumble matches probably. Bro, I don't get no matches. It doesn't matter on whatever platform there is, bro.
My guy is a low-key shooter.
Not even, bro. In any event, let's bring it back to Upload over here, Joey, because we're pulling right back into that 10 EMA volume-weighted average price, which are overlapping now at a very interesting level. What that level, you asked? The $0.50. So you're getting the psychological area of possible support. You're getting VWAP. You're getting the 10 EMA. You're getting everything there. Are we going to hold up here on Upload, UPLD, or are we going to continue to sell off? I'm going to take my shot here. I'm going to take a smaller position on UPLD, but we're going to look to get in because there's just too much confluence all in one area over here. So we're punching long on UPLD. Come what may, we're going to give this one to 45s. And if it ends up breaking down, it breaks down. That's the situation, Joey. What do you got?
Absolutely. We're back into some Tesla here. See if we can get a bounce. We were patient enough to wait for that selling. And if it cracks where I'm currently positioned in, then we'll just hop out and get a better price. I'm looking for an indecision print at VWAP in Bitcoin as well, too. But again, we just ran into some key resistance zones. I don't know what all these levels I have marked out. But bang, to a T. And then sure enough, you kind of reject that. So let's see what we got going on here. So, okay, yeah, so nothing substantial. But this is extremely, extremely alarming. All right? If those levels are breached, I'm going to suspect some more downside in Bitcoin. How much? I have no idea. But essentially what you want to do is be patient, wait again for some more indecision prints, and then look to get involved. See you later to Tesla. We're out of that one. As the market curled right over at VWAP, and this is what I'm talking about. You had to wait for that VWAP pullback. It breached it, and then now we're continuing to the downside. So just keep that in mind. It may take a little bit longer for buyers to step in if they're going to, and we don't know because the sentiment in this market is awfully weak. Let's go through a couple names through the dailies, considering I have it up. So NVDA, not too bad. We can close as a hammer there. I think we're going to be okay, and then maybe you can get a grind higher. Then let's go over some Google. Google started to play catch up, right? So off of these lows, extremely lagging, but then went on some monster runs at the break of some key resistance zones. And sure enough, I was trading it from here, and then I got out around here, which is unfortunate because it just continued to climb. So a nice steady uptrend for an additional month. Wow. So that is positive. And then AAPL, same thing, broke through some key resistance zones, strong volume through it. And then what we want to note is look at the volume profile starting to cool down as we pull back. That is a positive sign that eventually and maybe hopefully buyers step back in and you can continue that trajectory, considering that we are still about 12%, 13% to be exact, off of those previous all-time highs. So are we still looking at a discount here on AAPL? Maybe, possibly, but I don't know. And then sure, let's go over Amazon, the Amazonian, another laggard in the Mag 7, AWS, good numbers, but at the end of the day, we're still about 5% off of those previous all-time highs, 8.25 to be exact. So keep that in mind, guys. I think we're gonna be able to get some good prices in the overall market, so just be patient, don't get FOMO, and most definitely don't enter a position all at once. You want to continuously add, especially if you're looking to go for more of a swing.
Recess is over, Joey.
Yeah, recess is over.
What was the go-to activity in, let's just go later years recess. Let's go grade 7, 8.
Yeah, foot hockey.
Foot hockey,
Yeah,
it was always football for us. Tackle football.
Yeah,
Multiple suspensions because of tackle football.
Yeah. Well, I told you about that one story when I was in my younger days. I smoked my buddy's cousin Todd into the garbage can. Todd cried and then went and told on me. A 2-dayer right there.
Did Todd catch other hands for telling?
No, I wasn't a fighter.
He's got to catch other hands for telling.
But when I moved up north, it's more hockey guys, right?
Sure.
So it was like take everybody's head off as like at any chance possible. And then also we were heavy into wrestling, so it turned out that our recesses, you would have to stand in a circle because you could get speared at any given moment.
Hilarious. Yeah. You have to protect yourself at all times.
At all times.
That is jokes. I actually like that story.
It was savagery. So yeah, you would get DDP'd, pedigreed, speared. Like some bigger guys would try to choke slam you. And then the worst, oh my God. So the crippler, like,
good story.
I remember one time my buddy got me in the crippler crossface.
No!
Yeah, you couldn't
That
tap
legit
or anything.
hurts,
Yeah,
bro.
that
That hurts,
man. The
man.
crippler,
Yeah.
the crippler crossface.
Tina, man. Yes.
The crippler crossface is not fun to be in
man.
whatsoever.
You know,
so,
he ended
yeah.
up getting CTE from all the flying headbutts he did. Because, you know, one of his finishing moves
Was headbutt?
was go on the top rope
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then yeah, I know, Katina, man,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
a disaster to talk
yeah,
about.
yeah,
but, like,
yeah,
the fact
yeah.
of the matter is, you know, that contributed to it. So.
And then the walls of Jericho too. We'd get our buddies in the walls.
It's
of
a
Jericho.
sharpshooter over the
bro.
Boston Crab or sharpshooter.
Oh, dude, the
That's
walls
the thing
of
to me.
The walls of Jericho. It was so fun trying to get your buddies in because you're trying to pull them over, and then when you had them, you're just like and they're like tap 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 tap, and then obviously no one stopped when you tapped. But yeah, it was chaos.
All right, guys. We're having a lot of fun, but it is 12 o'clock again. Guys, Adira is off, so no happening now. Hopefully we'll have Adira back tomorrow, but we're going to go to Neil's lesson of the day.
Welcome, everybody. Apparently, the lesson of the day is don't turn your back on Joe's friends because you can get speared at any particular moment. Although I will echo, when I was in junior high, we also played tackle football at recess and at lunch, and it was ridiculous. It was probably a bad idea when you really look back and think about it, and some people got banged around a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's just kids having fun. And basketball was also pretty big for us. I didn't hear you guys mention that. Foot hockey was more grade school. But the other thing is you want to protect yourself from getting spears. Obviously, that's an important thing, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Today's drop was obvious. It was a little bit, it was out of pocket for normal moves, right? Like we had a drop in the market yesterday and trend down, but what happened directly off the open today was a different type of unwind. And there was a moment where we said, man, you just had a few shorts in the morning, and like for most people, if you had a short in the morning, that was your day. But I want to show you like two things. One, sometimes when that's going on, it's always a lot of traders try to catch that bottom or try that. I love reversion trades, so you see me do it a couple of times. But I just want to point out one thing that you want to keep in mind a lot of times. Put things into two categories. And I'm going to put Intel into the it's weak, and here are the reasons why. It set up multiple, I didn't even take them all. 4 different times it set up trend breaks. I took 2 of them. Neither one of them followed through. But then I took a trend break to the downside, and it instantly starts flushing. That's an idea of a weak stock. And there's a reason why, when looking at this one, why did I want to fade this instead of going back to, say, a SoFi? Well, I'll tell you why. When the market bounces here in the Nasdaq, look at how strong the trend is past VWAP, continues through, all that good stuff. Intel slows down at VWAP, fails VWAP. Okay, well, that stays weak. But when it's weak on a day like today, it drops easy. It goes up, very difficulty. I would argue I can have this 4 times and eventually get it, but I don't like that play. If I have to stab at it that many times just to get it to work, because what happens if it continues going down? It's just a bit of a mess. It's better to wait on a weak stock to try to catch that continuation trade to the downside. Now, the other side of the coin is, well, SoFi was really good in the morning. Why not go back into SoFi for a short there? And ultimately, hey, SoFi is going to end up pulling back into the volume-weighted average price. But here's the difference. I tried it at VWAP on lower highs, but I made one mistake on SoFi. One mistake. At this point, when I take the second VWAP short, high or low as the market is strong, and this is getting back to VWAP for this reload as the market is still relatively weak. The futures were still close to the low, and this is at VWAP. On a day like today, where you have wipeout bottoms, huge moves like this, extended candles, all that good stuff, this is not the name that I should have taken. That's a tight stop. It's not the end of the world, but you just don't need to have that. It's one thing when Intel curls late after the market move. It's another when the futures are still near the low, and this is already at VWAP, and it has a huge gap to fill. So if you're gonna actually take that short, you should wait for it to fill the gap or some other look. There's no need for that trade. It's putting in higher lows. It's now strong relative to the market. Wait for something that is weak relative to the market to set up later. Because there's a decent chance, as I said at the beginning, that your best trade probably occurred in the first 5 to 10 minutes. And on days like that, I think you want to be extra careful where you trade after that. Don't give the money back. Wait very patiently for perfect setups or things that give you the right type of confluence. because it's an outlier type of a morning. And when you have an outlier type of a morning, you can have a lot of A+ type setups and trades. And the last thing you want to do is give that back with a bunch of B's and C's. You'll take them, no question, but be a little bit more patient. When the gaps are larger, give it a little bit more room. Make sure you're still trading something, if it's short, that's weak relative to the market at a good price level, and stay away from something which all of a sudden slipped strong. We know how violent V-shaped recoveries can be, and part of the reason why is because they come into some levels that you're like, wow, if I like the short up here and it's curling here, I should be all over this. But that's what a lot of other people are thinking. And a lot of people that miss the early short are like, ooh, I got to get this one here. So be very, very careful. You're going to have so much opportunity early, and if you missed it, there's a lot of FOMO trades that happen on these days where you have a crazy open. And when that's the case, everyone's hunting to be able to make the money. They want to double up their day or they want to get it into a part of the party, and you've got to be more discerning. If a stock is relatively strong, you may like the level, but you got to be patient and maybe back off of it like SoFi. And with something like an Intel, I know it's relatively weak, so the second it sets up, that's one that I can jump into. Took a while to develop, and maybe I had to wait an extra half an hour. I could have shorted this on Intel on trend, but I didn't because the market was too strong. So you wait. No trade or sitting on your hands is a trade because it can save you some money. So don't throw away those early profits when we have these big outlier days. It requires more patience after the fact and more discipline after the fact because it seems like, it's going to be one of those days for the rest of the day. That's just not usually how it goes. And you don't want to throw away what could be like your best open in a week or a month when we have mornings like this. So be extra careful on days where we have dumps or pumps like the one we saw this morning.
Thank you very much, Neil. Informative, eloquent, and awesome as always. Neil Roberts every day around that noon hour. He's dropping his lesson of the day, a.k.a. Neilage. Assassino, I need to show them this. Thank you, Darwin, in the chat for alerting me to this. Google unveils modest upgrades to Pixel smartphone and other gadgets. Another headline is Google is beating Apple on the smartphone AI personal technology, reports the Wall Street Journal. So the coming Pixel 10 announced on Wednesday by Alphabet subsidiary Google and available August 28th, so in 8 days, dressed me in an AI-generated blazer right in the camera app. A convincing clone of my voice fluently discussed lunch in German, which I don't speak. When I called the United customer service, flight reservation information automatically appeared on screen. That is the kind of AI that we, expect from Siri and have been expecting from Siri for a long time. So in other words, the new Google Pixel 10 will be, I guess, doused in AI features. We'll have to wait and see. In other Google Pixel news, Brendan, a very noted Google Pixel bull, took a page out of your book.
What did he do?
And he switched to the iPhone 16.
No.
And it came in the mail yesterday. I was like, yes, Brendo, keep buying. Yes, Joey, keep buying. We need those iPhone sales to go up. No, seriously though, guys, that is the headline that just came out from Google now. It's not really reacting on the news, to be quite honest with you.
Did you download the new beta on?
Been a minute. I was with beta 1. Now we're on 6.
Yeah.
So
mine showed me beta 4 for some reason.
Well, no, it's up to 6 now, Joey. So you got to go to software and update.
Yeah, we got to go to software and
I got to tell you, that beta 1 was tough to deal with because it was super buggy.
See, I got 26.4 here. What's up with that?
How come? Well, because you haven't even done 6 yet. Well, let me check mine.
What do you mean?
Well, don't you have to upgrade it?
I got to go to 4?
I don't know.
I can't
Well, you can just see what it says on mine. See, I can download beta 7.
Yeah,
that's what I've been trying to tell you.
Wow.
Update tonight. There we go.
All right, then.
Well, maybe because you have a newer phone.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is the older one,
I love what the home screen looks like.
Oh, it's fantastic. Look how I set up mine. Look, so I got 2 rows of icons and everything else is widgets.
I love that. I
the
love that.
Chat GPT widget is wild good.
Yeah,
it's amazingly good.
Yeah, that looks nasty.
Yeah, I'm a Chat GPT fan, not gonna lie. Thanks to
big time.
Trader TV.
Check this out too, guys. Here.
Uh-oh.
What's that one say?
Your friend is in the chat there.
Who Greg?
Well, no.
Nimrod.
Hey. Guy drops 1,000 shekels.
Bro.
Just like that in the chat. Thank you very much, Nimrod, for the 1,000 shekels. Brother. Right, just like that, bro. All right, tough 2 days, but you guys saved me. Neil's falling knives lesson. Joey's decay tip saved me 30 to 40% on NVDU and PITR. Best trade since then was the option strategy he taught me. Closed just in time. Thanks to a Darius call. Sharif helped me profit on small caps. Switching brokers saved me big. So grateful. I'm not even going to say what you were paying in commissions, Nimrod, because it's almost criminal to say, and I know you're going to take action there.
Yeah.
But needless to say, Nimrod was taking very big positions, and he was having to pay through the nose in commissions.
Yeah.
And that's not going to no longer be the case.
Yeah, in leverage products too. And I said, yeah, those aren't long-term investment vehicles, but there you go, 1,000 shekels, my friend. Way to rock that, brother. And hey, Nimrod, I was talking about your options strategy this morning about how you paid roughly around $4.50 a contract and how those are essentially almost doubled, I'm pretty sure. So fantastic, fantastic stuff. I love seeing that, my friend. Way to smash it as always, and then switching that platform, absolute game changer. Hey, that's exactly what we love to see.
Dang.
But what we also love to see
Tell him, Joey.
is this, my friend. TQQ pew, 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 starting to work for us right there. So that's working out pretty nice. We're going to trim a little bit. Ooh, why are you selling so aggressively, my darling friend? Yeah, there we go. We'll take 30% off right there, and that's it. So we'll hold the rest, see if we can break through this key pivot. Bitcoin starting to work out for us. We're in that as well. IBIT. Now we punch through that. Gore, man, again, this is what we were risking at those lows, and we get some nice strength right there. But am I in love with that volume? Absolutely not. If we can pick it up and sustain, I also want to add to this position. There's no questioning that, but we will hold on. If we get that retest of this high of the day, it's going to spin it for me.
Oh, absolutely, bro. There it is, baby. There it is.
But I am right on the day, so that's okay.
All right, guys, we're involved in Sundial. So I did wait for the pullback into the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. I actually have the half print here. So it says 19s, but I actually have 18.5, but ours doesn't show that. So now we've wet the beak at 20s. We had the beak at 21, and now we're waiting at 22. Let's see if they can take out the top. The high of the day is technically 22. We're there right now on the ask, but not really moving above that. Guys, I got to tell you, it's a light selection right now in small cap gapper world. The only thing I'm looking at is THAR, and the only reason I'm looking at it there is because it's pulling into VWAP Assassino, and it might be time to pick it up here. So THAR was all sorts of weak after breaking through that $3 area on a wick basis, not a closing basis, and it was an uninterrupted sell kind of pattern. Right through the 10, right through the 20, and now it's holding up a couple of shekels, Nimrod, above the volume weighted average price, which is basically right at that 20 level, 220, excuse me, $2.18, 19 cents, something like that. So THAR still up 100%, 99% and change, but it's got to set up here and not just hold up at the volume weighted average price. It's got to put in a 5-minute candle to make a new high on a closing basis. I'm going to be quite insistent with that because it's been interesting here on some of these small cap gappers. Some of them don't hold up in the way that you would expect. CPOP is moving back up, but I'm not going to touch this thing because it's all sorts of indecisive. There's a flat top break at 112, takes out 119, then all hell breaks loose. Goes all the way down from 119 to 89 pennies. I mean, how am I supposed to predict this crap, right? Like, there's no sound strategy to pick up CPOP at, so I'm just going to leave that one the hell alone and see what we can get there. Still keeping my eye on Sundial, but I'm going to be really interested to pick up this one over here, THAR, if it holds up at this level and starts giving me 5-minute candle to make a new high. One thing I didn't alert you guys on, remember when we got in on UPLD for a retracement into the volume weighted average price? Well, that was short-lived because you can see this thing dropped aggressively. Thank goodness I had to stop there because it continued to go. And then look at this over here. Ooh. Clean up your stops, people, because I actually had a stop order there that ended up getting me short, which wouldn't have been that bad if I held it for a couple of seconds, but that's not what you do. Neil always says, and something that I really subscribe to, if you made a boo-boo, if you made a fat finger mistake in or out of position, get out or just get back in quick as you can and just move along your merry way. So We were short there accidentally, but we ended up flattening out. I didn't even think that the shorts were free on UPLD, but I didn't really check either. So, Dean Regev, my man, shout out to you. I guess they're talking right back to Nimrod there. Urban Trader, TRIB. Let me have a look at TRIB. Let's see what that one is up to. Is this Google on the 5-minute? Not bad recovery there, eh? Look at that. Look at that, Joey. V-shaped recovery there on Google.
Yeah. It's across the board here, Sharif. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, let me look at Trib, though, before we get into the large caps. Okay, so Urban Trader, Trib. So this is the problem. What time is that? That's a 9:20 print. That 9:20 print there presents a problem, Urban Trader, because that is the pre-market, right? And so that pre-market high is 205. We know that for a fact. But look at what's printed there in the green, 197. It's a fact, Jack. That 197 is the official high of the day because that's during regular trading hours. So we have two problems. One, we're below the pre-market high on TRIB, and we just worked down right below the volume weighted average price. So it's fantastic, right? When these ones look like they're retaking VWAP, they're going to get back into the high of the day. But I've seen this story before. That's why I've enacted that rule about clearing the pre-market high. When you have a tendency to lose the pre-market high or are unable to regain the pre-market high, chances are you're not going to break the pre-market high. And if you do, it'll be on a wick basis and end up retracing. So that's why I try to stay away from it. Okay, but not a bad look. If it gets into 205, Urban Trader, I'm game. That's in fact what I'm putting my alert there on the side chart for, to see if we can work into that. All right, back to THAR. This one is now trending up in a 2 green candle pattern. It's still below the 10 EMA. I'm gonna back my patience. I'm gonna go long here if we can start trending back up again. I'll be keeping my eye on the 5-second chart to spot the micro pullbacks, Joey.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's one more story that I want to tell you guys about elementary school, and then we'll get back into these trades right away, is that we used to get these healthy snacks, right? And they give you apples, juice in it. So anyways, one day they give us V8s. We have a bunch of V8s in our healthy snack. And what do? We decide to have a V8 chugging contest at recess. Yeah, well, how did that go? We're standing in a circle. Everybody's chugging it. And I'm like, yo, this is tomato juice. I didn't know at the time. And I just puke all over my friend's shoes. So yeah, for me personally, for what you guys call it is Bloody Marys. My friends love Caesars. I can't even look at those things because they're so
You have that
disgusting.
tattooed in your mind,
Yeah, it's so disgusting. I don't understand how people drink tomato juice. That is gross. I love tomatoes. You like tomato juice?
Yeah, I don't mind it. But I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
so back in my gallivanting days, this was early 20s, I hit the whiskey too much one night.
Oh, no.
It was excessive. And I couldn't drink whiskey for a year and a half, 2 years. I couldn't even smell it.
That was like me
would
with
make
gin.
me gag. Yeah.
I decided to play a beer pong with gin for some reason, London beef eaters. Not a great idea. I don't advise that. But he has the steep stairs like that. Boom, your boy down the whole thing of stairs. Had to work the next day. It was like, man. Yeah.
There it is. I knew you were coming with that assassino, but I'm going to come with this. Exciting news for Canadian sophisticated traders. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs. They're offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60 semiconductors as well as U.S. Treasuries. If you want even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees just down to 65 basis points until December 31st of this year. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek to neutralize U.S. dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying U.S. equity indices. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, then you need to check out betapro.ca/3 times daily to learn more. Joey Options, what do you got?
Yeah. Okay, guys. So Bitcoin's starting to work out for us. I took nothing out right there, like literally 2% just to lock something in. But we also got the TQs that's starting to cook up for us. TQQQ. Why did I go long right below the volume weighted average price? This is what Gaurav and I are looking for across the board. This is our style, right? So essentially, we have these indecision prints, liquidity grabs, and then eventually starts to turn around. But this is what I'm looking for at the lows and south of the volume weighted average average price was that right there. And sure enough, we get that indecision print, and then I take a long, and then boom, 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 we're starting to climb, and I think we'll have the ability to breach this. But oh my days, who is that American WSBK? I love what you're telling me, and I love what I'm seeing on Ethereum. Now back through the previous high of the day, breaching some of these pre-market level. Oh, we're way past that, boys. Let's go, 32.72. Now we're at some of these key resistance zones right here. I'm loving this recovery in ETHA. What is our all-time high on this? There goes the Qs. There goes and just like that, Jack, unrealized, we got things turned around for us. I'm going to take one more out here on the TQs, but I'm letting this Bitcoin trade ride. I only have one more out on that one. We're starting to climb. I love this ascent. So $36, we're now trading at $32.76. I would not be surprised if in the pre-market we get up to $33, and that's going to be absolutely beautiful. But there it is. TQs, mind you guys, we always talk about our losers, right? So we took 2 losses right there. This one we had more shares. These were 2 equal, but this one we didn't have as many. But these 2 we had the equal amount of shares, and we took a loss on that one, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is, part of the trading game. And then sure enough, bang, long at VWAP in the TQs, and we get that move continuously higher. So we like seeing that. And then IBIT, we're going to trim a little bit more up here because we don't want to get greedy. And why is that? Because we want to take what the market can give us. And this is when referring to swing trading, because I absolutely love it. It's a massive, massive part of my fundamental as a trader, is just honing in on some of these swing trades. So essentially, I'll just tell you guys how it is. I always do, right? So I had about $4,000 unrealized on my IBIT trade in a span of a couple of weeks, or sorry, my Ethereum trade in a span of a couple of weeks. We really, really like that. But during this pullback, I pretty much gave up 75% of that of unrealized gains. And I'm kind of kicking myself, but I also had the game plan of, all right, let's see if we can get into the 5,500, close to 6,000 mark with a steady incline and not necessarily a 10-15% pullback. What is this?
That's my protein treats.
Is it?
These are the famous ones.
They're better than the other ones?
They're ridiculous.
They're
ridiculous.
Yeah. Let me try this here.
I'll get you some tomorrow.
I'm honest, right?
Right,
I'm
okay.
honest.
No. Just be as real as you can.
I'm on. Hey.
Because everybody loves them, but
I'm honest. I'm going to give you an honest review right here.
Go. With 100% natural honey. Ridiculous, right? Honey, peanut butter, oats, protein bars, cinnamon, and salt. That is it. That is literally it.
But were they the same ones that you were made before?
Yes.
Way
the
better than
only
mine.
thing that changes assassino is the syrup. So you can use honey, you can use maple syrup, you can use anything you want. Brown sugar syrup. It's the sugaring agent.
Brother,
Ridiculous, right?
you got to mass produce this and sell that.
That's what my old man says, man. My old man's like, you got to sell these, but I'm like, who's got the time, Joey? Man, these are good, bro. Let me tell you, and they're extremely healthy. Extremely. Do you know how many scoops of protein I put in that mother?
How
You know
many?
what? 4. Yeah. So like, and it doesn't even taste proteiny.
Yeah.
All right.
You shouldn't have brought those around me, man.
No, bro. I'll make them every week if I have to, bro.
Where do you hide them at?
My place. Well, get Brendo to finance the whole thing, and I'll make them every week.
Coming to you.
Oh, yeah.
Trader TV Live protein bars.
All right.
Orderings now.
Here's the deal, guys. Sundial's being good to us here. So, you know, when we're talking about a 4-penny, 5-penny winner here, but the fact of the matter is it's being good to us. So we got bottom wick for now. It was basically the reason I got in here. It's a 10 man. Hey?
Oh, good. I needed that.
Not bad, huh?
Oh, really good.
You want more? There's more in the fridge.
Can I bring some home or no?
Well, there's not enough for you to bring home. I can bring you some tomorrow.
How much you got in the fridge?
I got in the fridge here?
Yeah.
I got enough for me to go home to the gym with, okay, Joey? I love it, bro. Ready for the ad? All right, let's do this.
You didn't give me a shot.
No, it's okay. I got it. I got it right here,
Go
Joey.
ahead, brother.
All right, man. All right, guys. Here is the deal. Yes. Trade the Pool. We've seen Trade the Pool here with us for a while now, and now Trade the Pool has created something very special just for you guys. A free ebook featuring 4 proven swing trading strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside the book, you'll see exactly how they approach the markets, how they manage their risk, and what setups they rely on so you can learn and grow from what actually works. If you're interested, and you should be, download it now by scanning the QR code on screen or hitting the link in the description. Shout out to the great folks at Trade the Pool and Mitch and Company. You know, is already, we know that they're coming October 13th. So get ready for that. No, seriously though, guys, I can do a whole, what's it called? Video on this whole thing. We've done it before, but I'm gonna give you guys the recipe super quick. It's super easy. Ready? Write it down.
Write it down. Whoa, hold on, man. You can't give this away. That's primetime stuff, man.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Joey.
that is, you can't give that recipe away, brother.
I know. Thank you for. No, we're gonna give it away. Come on now. All right, here's the deal. You're gonna take 4 scoops of rolled oats. Okay, so regular rolled oats, get them from, or instant oats, whatever you want. Doesn't really make a difference, from your supermarket. And then those 4 scoops, you want to grind them. You want to powderize them. Okay, so you want to throw them into the blender and powderize that mother you know what. Okay. Once you have all 4 scoops of rolled oats basically grinded and powdered, throw that into a big bowl. All right, a big metal bowl. Then throw 4 scoops of protein onto that. And then you want to top off with some cinnamon. I put a very superficial layer so the entire powder is covered with a very thin layer of cinnamon. And then I throw in some table salt. You can throw in some sea salt there as well. And then that's the powder ingredients. Once you have all the powder ingredients in the bowl, you want to mix that sucker up and make it as homogeneous as possible so that the color of all the different colored powders is completely consistent. So that's step number 1. Once you have all the powders mixed in that big bowl, you're gonna throw in 1 cup of honey. I usually put a bit more, a cup and, you know, a little bit more than a cup. And then 1 cup of peanut butter. That's it. Honey, 1 cup of honey, 1 cup of peanut butter, and then get your hands in and start mixing that sucker all around. Make it very consistent so that all the ingredients is blended really well. And then you want to put it flat on a pan, cut it up into squares, and throw that in the fridge and let that cool in the fridge and leave it in the fridge. You will be very
pleased.
Very pleased.
That's
yeah.
very good stuff. Okay, guys, IBIT, crushing it, love it. TQs, we're all out of this one there, guys, but it's still continuing to climb. I would not be surprised if we head into OP at this point, OP being opening price. So keep an eye out on that. Did we add? No, can't. That's all right, though. We won't get too frustrated. But we did add an IBIT. I liked our chances considering that Ethereum was climbing higher and then Bitcoin was slightly lagging. So we're just slowly piecing it out here. So it's working out really well for us, guys. And I just mentioned to my boy Gorev, just like that, you go red to green, right? You just got to keep those risk measures in place. If it's not working, be patient, don't hulk out, and make sure that you always give yourself multiple opportunities. Full disclosure, I was down close to half my shutdown, SD, but we just kept it cool like a cucumber, and sure enough, bang, we're getting that move in Bitcoin that we want to see. So can I catch a fill here, please and thank you? There it is. Yeah, there it is. Bang, another one. Took an additional 10% off right there, sitting on a little bit more than half of the position. This is exactly what we want to see. Bang, bang, bang. Good time adds. See, and like I 100% agree with Gorev, but what I was seeing across the board here, my friend, was that the market was bouncing off of VWAP. So I'm, okay, let's see if we're going to kind of hold some of these pre-market low levels. Let's put it up on the 5-minute time frame so you can see how this is correlated with this level through here, right? So we're relatively close to some of those pre-market lows. And then you have some buying pressure stepping in. I'm like, all right, let me just buy VWAP. If it breaks this prior 5-minute bar candle, I'm in here, right? So I'm like, if it breaks that low, thesis invalid. I'm wrong, that's okay, we'll take another L. But turns out that we happen to be right, some buying pressure in there. And then once it really started to work, and I seen that engulfing candle on the 1 minute, that's just gonna give me more conviction within the trade. And this is the candle that I'm talking about, and that's what we added into after this breath. So a nice, strong engulfing print, engulfs this whole range essentially, pulls back, you add up into here, and then bang, bang, you're heading towards this high of the day. Let's see if we can break through that and then possibly establish a new one, or we're gonna eject and put in a new lower high. But I can't believe what Ethereum is doing right now, my friend. Wow, that espresso is going right through me. So there it is. There it is. There it is. A new high of the day on ETHA. This is what we want to see.
Bang, Joey options, man.
Yeah.
Good look. All right, I'm loading up a video for you guys. Thank you, Ram, for sending that. So apparently I did a video on this. I totally forgot that we did this. So here it is, guys. I'm going to throw this video in the chat right now. So the URL for it is in the chat. There's Prad with his yellow hair. But anyway, I gave the...
Man, come on, that's platinum, no?
Platinum Prad. Yeah, I forgot. It used to be called Platinum Prad. In any event, this is the video, guys. So it's actually in the description of the video, and I actually give the full instruction. Look how short my hair is, bro, with that beard. I look like a hideous freak, bro. I actually don't like that. I don't like that at all, Joey. Yeah. My hair was short. It wasn't brown. I hadn't dye it like I do now, and yeah, and I don't like that look anymore.
That was the first video I ever made.
Right? You were here for Platinum Prad?
Yeah.
I never forgot that.
Video I ever
Look at the bangs. Look at the bangs.
Look at her, bro. Look at her. Get it, Ram. Get it, Ram. All right, bro.
Ram, did you go downtown Chicago?
Yeah.
Really? Did you go on the river and everything?
What did you do there? Oh, that's why. Okay. She had 3 weddings. She had 3 weddings. All right, that's respectful.
Oh yeah, that takes all day. I forgot those are all day ventures, man. Oh my days.
What happened all day?
Well, girls take a significantly longer to get ready than guys. So she's like all day, every day, she's getting ready.
All day.
She's staring at least like you're partying, got the Prosecco going and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm ready. How long do you think you can get ready in Sri?
Me? 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes. From like pajamas till ready to go.
Give me 3.5 minutes.
Well, I got a shower and stuff, bro. What do you mean?
60-second shower, I'm in and out, outfit picked, I'm done. 5 minutes.
Crazy.
I'm out the door.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
I got a shower and stuff, bro. I like to take my time. I don't like to be rushed. Neither do you, though. You don't like to be rushed either. You're not.
I'm antsy. I'm an antsy individual. Like when I'm ready to go, like let's go. I'm super impatient.
Holding me back.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Super impatient.
I feel that. All right, we're having a good time over here. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to the guy who just called me a porn star as well. I love you right back, baby. All right, I'm just joking. All right, THAR, it can break 250. I'm looking at it, Bovin, but it looks like it's struggling, brother. Bovin, I was watching THAR for specifically the reason I've wanted to see what it was going to do when it got to that 10 EMA on the 5. And even though it's putting higher lows, Bovin, and higher highs, look at how anemic these green candles look. They're nothing compared to these ones over here. So to me, Bovin, I don't know, I could be wrong. This feels like a dead cat bounce. And just, a little bit of relief here as the shorts start covering from that area top. And the reason I say that is just you're doing a direct comparison between the vigor and the size of these green candles over here on the way up and how they were barely even touching the green line, the 10 EMA on the 5. And now, they just look like they're being kept all sorts of down. So I don't want to fall into this trap, Bovin. The real move would have been, picking up off the $0.25 for a 10, 15 penny winner, but that really wasn't my move. Anyway, THAR, if it explodes above that 250, we'll get involved. But other than that, these candles look a little too weak for me to want to get involved with it at the moment. Yeah, and all the other ones are all breaking down as well, whether UPLD is breaking down below VWAP, PLTZ. We had CPOP as well, straddling VWAP. There's really nothing other than the one that I'm in right now, which is Sundial. So let me know if you guys are looking at anything else, but I don't really like anything else at the moment. Sharif Holmes, I don't know what that is. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, guys. You guys make me chuckle all the time. I do appreciate you guys, and I don't take it personally, unless you're going to come at me in a personal way, then you're just going to get blocked. But if you guys make me, if you guys shoot, whatever. Yeah, you can take shots, but just be nice about it a little bit. Joey Options, what do you got, man? Because I'm looking at nothing over here, man.
I'm looking to add into this IBIT position one more time. Maybe we can get the break of this high of the day. So essentially that's what we're cooking up here. But there we go. We enter and then we add more than half there. So I like this. Hopefully this pullback isn't too deep. and we get the ability to add on that one. Man, your boy Pan W is going, it's in its own realm right now, Sharif. So there it is, some nice movement in Pan W. A couple people mentioned that one earlier out in the day. Right back to where it was selling off yesterday, essentially. So looking to continue climb higher, and some nice healthy prints right there. So shout out to the individual who pointed that one out. And yes, I did. Your Huckleberry, yeah, I did. I did try to respond, but I got caught up here. I did go to UFC 319. What an absolute amazing event. It's definitely something that I wanted to get off the bucket list there, and I'm more than happy to do so. It cost a pretty penny at the end of the day.
Did it actually?
Yeah, it was pretty. And dude, we were as high as it can get. You couldn't go any higher than where we were. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have seen the wad this guy took.
Well,
of
400 Canadian to get in the door, but I mean, yeah, at the highest point too. Like it was like, I mobilized. Oh,
270?
Yeah, something like 300 some bucks. Yeah,
infuriating.
Yeah. But it was like, see, the thing is though, I'm easily convinced, right? Like a couple espresso martinis and some cold beers, and my boys are like, "You want to go to UFC?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, let's do it." But then obviously you wake up the next morning, and you're like, "Oh man!" At the end of the day, but all fun and games, right? If we're only going to do the chances of that happening again, it was an experience, right? Just the atmosphere of the crowd. And Sharif, we got a submission and then 2 spinning elbow KOs.
Crazy.
2 spinning elbow KOs, and the arena was going wild. Yeah, it was so worth it.
Did you see Joe Rogan and everybody? Like,
in the thing, right? Yeah, you see them there.
Man.
Yeah, so it was a great experience.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I was really happy that we did that. And I mean, I mentioned to everybody before, I got the full Chicago experience. We went to Wrigley Field, then we had UFC 319, and then we went to Soldier Field as well too, which was it was definitely a lot of fun.
You did everything there.
Yeah, we did a lot.
Did you see the what is that mirror thing downtown?
I have no idea. I didn't even go.
The bean.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We didn't even go
you didn't
to
see the bean?
No, brother. I didn't even ask any of the locals where the beans were.
The only reason I even went there is because the hotel I was staying at, it was right there. I stayed at the hotel where Harrison Ford stayed at in The Fugitive.
You're gonna love this.
The Hilton or whatever.
Okay, so we stayed at
literally right there.
The London House. You're gonna love this right here, brother. This is right where we stayed across from. Why do you got to be so difficult?
I know, it's embarrassing, bro.
Super embarrassing.
Make it quicker, bro.
Literally right across from
the Trump.
Yeah, we're like, yeah.
See that building that has those, it's like a circular building, and it has that parking lot exposed?
Yeah.
Isn't
that was so sick. So like half the building was parking lot, and it was circular, and then the condos. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I really like Chicago, man. I really like Chicago.
Like I said, I have nothing bad to say about Chicago other than maybe it's a little expensive. And actually, I'll be honest, the deep dish, a little lackluster.
No way.
I wasn't. I'm like, hey, I think we got better pies here in Toronto. But again, full-on experience, loved it all. But what I'm loving right now is Bitcoin holding up here. We're not going to add just yet. I believe that we're going to get a retest around 64.55. This could be just a breath candle right here, and then maybe we get a continuation to the top side, considering this market does want to continue this cover rally. We are all out of the TQs right here. Let's go to a higher time frame so we can see things a little bit clearer now. Can see clearly now. The rain's gone. So there it is, boom, boom, boom. And then we get all out just right around the peak. And then now this is our first entry of the day here on IBIT, waiting for a potential ad right here. A nice opportunity right here, guys. That VWAP break was absolutely beautiful, and it's unfortunate that we missed out on that one. And then sure enough, you get a pullback continuation, and then we have rejected this level. So I want to be patient until this underlying tells me that, hey, we're not going to break through that high of the day. Then I'm going to hold on to it and look for an out. What we can notice here on the tape as well, keep an eye on the tape, is that the strength is stepping in. So you see those aggressive offers at the ask, and this is exactly what we want to see. So continuous flushes of green on the tape, and that's how we kind of read that right there.
All right, guys, I'm still holding my position here on SNDL, and in fact, it got to 24s, but it didn't cross. I have an order waiting at 24s, but nothing doing there. Here's the deal. This is why I did not punch into THAR. As I mentioned, the green candles on the bounce off the volume weighted average price looked quite anemic. They were very, very small in size relative to the green candles we were putting up on that initial move. And there you go. It rejects the 10 EMA, and here it comes back into VWAP. So this is looking like it might be setting up for a flat bottom break. How do you get that flat bottom break? Well, first order of business, you need an area high. We got an area high over here at the high of the day, 309. The second order of business, you need a bounce off a key support level. We got it here at the volume weighted average price. After that, you need a lower high relative to that previous first high. We got that with that 245 to mid 40s bounce. And here we go again, coming right back down to that 220 area where the volume weighted average price is. It doesn't have to break on the second attempt or even the third. It could be the fourth. The point is to be on the lookout for lower highs and that same area of support that it keeps bouncing off. The key thing is to look for that lower high, though. So to me, THAR is a no-go at the moment, so I'll steer clear of that and continue to look for some others. I see SBEV, and I'm really even hesitant to want to look at this because it is below the pre-market high, SBEV. But I'm going to, there's really not much else to look at, so we're going to have to look at this, okay? And the reason I will not punch in to SBEV until it takes out the high is because it's below the below this area high over here. Now, it's above the pre-market high, but it did lose VWAP quite aggressively. So it popped up super aggressive from that 150, 165 area it was trading right into 231 as quickly as it got up there, as quickly as it dropped. Now it's starting to kind of stair step up, regaining that $2 level, regaining the volume weighted average price, but it's still below this area. I'd like to see a little bit more, but I could definitely get involved in SBEV if it does set up in the right way. And alas, it is not quite yet. Now, this one was running in the aftermarket yesterday, which makes me either feel like there was a headline in the aftermarket or it was an earnings report. I'm not going to look at it right now. But as you can see, it faded with the overall weakness in the market that we've been experiencing over the last 2 days. That's in the aftermarket. It holds this general area, that closing print from yesterday at $1.50 in the pre. It holds it multiple times, very early on and also at 10 o'clock. So you like to see that. You like to see it holding prior day low. And the other good news is it made a higher high above yesterday's aftermarket. So it's got a decent trend, but just not setting up as a really good intraday trade, at least for now. Yeah, that could change. That could change very quickly, too. Like if we get a spike up into 220, 225, I'm going to change my tune. And then we'll have a completely different take on SBEV. But for the moment, it's still not tradable under my system. I'm going to leave it here. And if it breaks out, we'll get involved, Joey. So that's a look there. We got another like maybe 5-10 minutes, and then we'll start the news. A lot of stuff to talk about today, guys. Big details, obviously, to get to, Joey, in semiconductor world, as your boy Donald wants to own all the companies.
Some retail news as well, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
always,
let's
right?
see what's up with Target as my friend.
Yeah, that was not a good report, Joey.
No, I mean, well, their stint over here in Canada didn't, their first stint over here didn't work out too well.
Stayed all of 2 minutes.
Yeah, if that, like, you build it.
Like what he's talking about, they came and then they left.
Yeah.
Ram, how quickly did they leave?
Very quick.
How quickly did Target leave? Like 3-4 years? Target, when they came to Canada. It was like 3-4 years, right? Fairly.
I don't even think it was that long, Sharif, because when I was in school at Guelph, they were building it. I think it was done the same year. Then halfway through the next year, it was gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
Anyways, yeah. All right, guys. Let's see what we got going on. I want to see what you guys are thinking in the chat. Let's get you guys engaged here a little bit.
Oh.
Are we double topping on Bitcoin? Yes or no? All right. So if no means that we can continue and break through this high, yes means we're not going to go any higher. I'm going to go no just because I'm going to be optimistic, even though I think it is a double top, but sometimes you just got to just roll with the punches there. So yes or no, did Bitcoin double top here? And what is this on spot itself? Just put it in. And if you've been trading...
You're right, Joey.
What's that?
Less than 2 years.
Yeah.
You were bang on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, brother.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, it was not good. I didn't even go there, to be honest with you. I was just eating M&M. Man, school diets are so horrible, brother. It's just, yeah. It's
Did you get the freshman 15?
Easily,
like, eh?
Easily, brother.
We don't even call it freshman. Why am I pretending like American?
Yeah.
It's first year, baby. That's
like
Canadians call it.
it was really bad, and now I can't even eat M&M meat shop anymore.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I just.
Oh, I thought you M&M meat a shop. I thought you were talking about
like
M&Ms. I'm like, that's really
like
bad,
M&M
Joseph.
meats.
Yeah,
Obviously, you got it, but everything is just
What's wrong with M&M meats, man?
Dude, I ate it for
my house
for like a year and a half straight. Like I was getting everything, and then you know when you're just turned off from something, because it's just like what it does to you, especially when you have no physical activity. Every other weekend's a beer pong tournament, and then it's just like, man, You know what I mean?
Been
Yeah,
there.
good times for sure. But as for anything in the market, if you guys are curious and want to go over anything, I actually want to do a little snooping here. So don't mind me. Actually, maybe I can. So I want to take a look at some things on the options chain. Why does it do that for me? That's so frustrating. Okay, here it is. So I just want to take a look to see what some value of some contracts are. UNH, yes, Nimrod, I'm talking about you because I know what you did.
Last summer?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll go here. You
like that movie?
The bestseller?
No, I know what you did last summer.
Oh, yeah, that's an older one. Too. I'm pretty sure they came out with a new one, too.
I still know what you did last summer.
Did you?
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
a bunch
remember.
of different
I don't remember it like that well, but yeah, I remember.
Neff Campbell, that's all I remember.
Neff
Campbell, and what's that one from Party of Five? She was so pretty when she was
was
younger.
really
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah, nothing like those.
Boy crush
guys
there.
250s. Okay, yeah. So, anyways, not what I was thinking here. Maybe I got the wrong cycle. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter. Let's go over some high levels of OI. Next week we got NVDA. And I want to see if these levels are growing. We were talking about 185 and then the 190 strikes. 190's cooled off, right? So we're extremely south of that right now, trading at 173. So that's about 17 points there. And then what we want to look at is that 185 concentration. So we got about 111,000. I would not be surprised if that's going to continue to grow into the earnings report, right? So if that is the case, just be cautious, on what happens during that report. If you smash into 185 and then you get a heavy rejection and it doesn't look like you're going to get those aggressive offers stepping back in, then maybe look for a continuation to the downside. That's most definitely what I'm going to be doing on NVDA and after the report as well too, which is extremely, extremely important. So Jennifer Love Hewitt, yeah, I know. Can't remember. I can't put a face.
Neil comes in. The first thing he hears is Jennifer Love Hewitt. Guys, I was wrong. Sorry, Neff Campbell.
Yeah.
I said Neff Campbell for I know what you did last summer. It was what the hell's her name? Sarah Michelle Gellar. What was that other show she was in? Where she was like chasing down demons and stuff. I forget the name of the show. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No way.
Yeah, was it? Isn't that Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
I have no idea.
Pretty sure she was. Sarah Michelle Gellar, right? She was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm pretty sure, right?
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so Freddie Prinze Jr., Jennifer Love Hewitt, these are some of the people that were in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Johnny Galecki was in it as well, which is, what's his name? Leonard from The Big Bang Theory, but he has a really small part in that. I think he's just at the beginning, and he's a bit of an asshole. All right, let's start the news, Joey, since we're about 1:45 now. We're going to start with the main headline, which is that the United States is considering equity stakes in multiple chip makers. It's not just Intel. Let's get to the details. So your friend Howard Lutnick was on Squawk on the Street yesterday with Kramer, David Faber, and that I forget the other guy's name there. I forget his name anyway. So what he was pushing for is he's like, look, the U.S. government's pushing for equity stakes in Intel and other chip makers in exchange for the CHIPS Act funding. You'll remember the CHIPS Act was passed under the previous administration. There was really no equity involved. It's like the companies had to meet certain thresholds or requirements, and then they got more money. But there was no equity they had to give up, right? So the idea here is to basically boost the semiconductor manufacturing business in the United States. The plan shifts from simply issuing grants to a return on investment model, with the government taking a minority, non-voting equity stakes rather than just, doling out cash with no strings attached. And so Intel, according to reports, is first in line with discussions around a 10% government stake in Intel. Other companies that could be subject to this as well, we'll have to wait and see. Micron, Taiwan Semi, and Samsung, all recipients of CHIP Act money, or possible recipients of CHIP Act money, though none have confirmed participation in this new equity program that's being pushed. The initiative follows, unusual Trump deals, such as securing, 15% of NVIDIA's H20 chips in China, 15% of AMD's MI08 revenues in China, with the Pentagon also preparing to become the top shareholder in MP Materials, a rare earth mining company. Full disclosure involved in that. critics are not without their, well, people are not, they're criticizing it, is what I'm trying to say. So critics warn this strategy creates new categories of corporate and taxpayer risk, as poor investments could result in losses for the U.S. government, especially if stocks don't do that well. Concerns also arise, Joseph, around the potential geopolitical friction, especially with Taiwan and TSMC, obviously, where Taiwan's economy minister said discussions would take time given the company's private ownership structure. So needless to say, this is very new. But what's your take in general, Joseph, about the U.S. government wanting equity in these companies that are going to receive money? Do you like it or do not like it, just as a starting point?
As personally, as an investor in some of these names, that's music to my ears at the end of the day, right? Because if the government's invested, guess what? We're not new to this. Everybody knows that essentially the government doesn't lose. So in my opinion, I love the fact that they're going to start taking a stake in some of these names. And we mentioned this yesterday. It's been Intel. We're talking all this noise about Intel. Well, guess what? The government's starting to get involved. Donald looking to take a stake into it as well. So I think that's only potential upside for these names.
And think about it from Intel's perspective, right? You got these 14A node, 18A node. Basically, they're most advanced technologies, Joey, for their foundry business, right? And nobody wants to buy them because a lot of the companies say, well, they're not that good, so we don't really want to buy them. All of a sudden, you got Donald with a 10% stake in Intel, and, he's calling up Jensen, he's calling up whoever. He's like, hey,
listen,
why are you not buying from an American company? Why are you going and spending your money with Taiwan Semi, Samsung, non-American entities, right? So that you could feel there might be some geopolitical tensions coming that way. Guys, VinFast delivered over 35,800 EVs in Q2 of 2025, marking a 172% jump from last year. That brings their first half total to more than 72,000 electric vehicles, up over 220% year over year. With stronger sales usually in the second half of the year, they're on pace to easily double 2024's 97,000 units that were delivered. They're also crushing it on the two-wheelers with nearly 70,000 e-scooters and bikes sold in Q2, up 432% from a year ago, and with gas-powered two-wheelers being phased out in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City by 2026, the growth potential looks to be huge. You can find them on the Nasdaq under ticker VFS. Or if you're in Toronto, just go to Yorkdale Mall. They're there as well. Shout out to Ho Chi Minh Trail. Anybody who studied the Vietnam War knows all about that. So
that thing just got absolutely... that thing got bombarded for sure. They blew that thing up. But see, the savagery part is that you just kept rebuilding it. You can blow it up as many times as you want, but we're just going to keep rebuilding that road.
The Viet Cong I took a U.S. history class in university, second year. And man, there was some stuff there, man. Some stuff there.
Talking about warriors, man. At the end of the day,
crazy
both sides,
All right, any other comments, Joey, on this chip?
No, I think it's good. To be honest with you, I like it personally as a shareholder. Right? Some people might not like it from another standpoint, but from an equity holder, I like it, especially when the government gets involved.
Okay, let's go on to Target. So, needless to say, where's TGT at right now? Because it was all sorts of sell this morning. We are down almost 7%, but certainly off the lows there on Target. Target, 94.15 low, 98.13 high. I think we're almost at the high as we speak. We're at 98.05. So here's how the report looked like. First, let's talk about the outgoing CEO and the incoming one, which is coming from the COO position. So Mike Fidelki will become the CEO starting February 1st of this year. He's going to replace Brian Cornell, who will move to the executive chair position. So he's going to remain with the company. Fidelki emphasized 3 priorities for his tenure as CEO. He wants to restore Target's reputation for what he calls stylish, unique products. He also wants to improve the consistency, in the customer service experience, and he wants to leverage technology for efficiency. So maybe we'll see some AI, suggestions there on the website for things that you can put together in a room. I'm just spitballing here. Now, with respect to the actual quarter and how they did, so their EPS came in at 205. They beat the 203 expected on revenue of $25.12 billion, beating the $24.93 billion expected. Check. check. Bottom line, top line beat. Net income, even though they're profitable, almost $1 billion in profit on the quarter, it did fall year over year. They took home $935 million in profit. They took home last year almost $1.2 billion, so that's a bit of a drop there. And there's more drops that are coming, baby, trust me. Comparable sales down 1.9%. Transactions down 1.3%. The average ticket sale down 0.6%. Margins down, being pressured by markdowns, canceled purchase orders, and more sales in lower margin categories like electronics and toys, where they don't make as much money as they do on other areas, other segments. So let's talk about some of their business trends. The report says the store traffic has been falling almost every week since January. What kind of horrible digital data point is that, man? Digital sales, a bit of silver lining here, up 4.3% year over year. But when you compare them to Walmart's online sales, e-commerce sales for Walmart, Walmart's blowing them out of the water. Walmart has double-digit e-commerce growth year over year. This is like low single digit. Their non-merchandise revenue surge, aka their advertising revenue on their website, 14.2% year over year, and all 6 key merchandise categories, Joseph, were improving from quarter 1 to quarter 2. So good quarter over quarter comps, but year over year, not a good look. Last but not least, they are losing Ulta Beauty. So Target and Ulta Beauty will end their shop-in-shop partnership starting of August next year. So in a year from now, raising concerns over their beauty traffic that they're getting in, and their home goods remain a key weak spot, Joseph, as Target lost its design edge post-COVID, but is kind of trying to work to rebuild a momentum with, you know, Disney and Marvel and whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they need to take kind of the Walmart route, where we were talking about 70% of their products are constructed and assembled in the States. But I thought it was essentially the cheaper alternative to Walmart. It's unfortunate that their stint here in Canada wasn't very long either. We were talking about this not too long ago. But if we look at this name from that previous high of April 2024, you're down 50% almost. So this stock is going to need to double in order to just get back to that break-even point of $181. If we zoom out, I believe there's a previous high on this as well. So the long-term investment, and I don't even know if it's reverse split or anything along those lines, is extremely, extremely tough. And if we go to some of these other retail names, WMT, it's the polar opposite of what we're experiencing here in Target. We go to Costco, the exact same thing, right? So you get that steady appreciation, and it's unfortunate. We know that Walmart's e-commerce sector, as you mentioned before, Sharif, is starting to take market share from Amazon as well, too. So they're really starting to pick up that space, and we've seen the complete opposite in Target as well, too. So it's not something that is looking good, and just don't go trade off a hopium thinking that they will cover. You want to wait for some more solid quarters to come out, and then you have the ability to get involved in the name. But there's other retail spaces that I think are much better off as an investment.
Clearly, Joey, and one last point I want to mention, shares are down 60% from their 2021 highs. We know Walmart made all-time highs late last year. I don't know if it's at all-time highs right now, but that is a tough look. And they're obviously competitors, so Walmart, you know, eating Target's lunch, at least for the moment. Let's see if that can change. Let's go on to another retailer, a bit of a different take here. Lowe's beats expectations, expands their pro business. We'll talk more about that, but much the same is being said for Lowe's report as was being said for Home Depot. So LOW is still up on the day? Yeah, barely, up 0.5%. Let's talk about this report. They printed EPS of $4.33, beating the $4.24 expected. Check on bottom line. Revenue in line with expectations, $23.96 billion. That was the comp, in line with estimates. Net income did rise, though, nicely. They took home last year $2.38 billion on the quarter. This time they increased that to $2.4 billion. That's take-home money, guys. That's their profit. And their comparable sales also grew 1.1% year over year, showing resilience despite industry headwinds. And that was not said by Home Depot. So clearly something being done here well by Lowe's. Now, they're focusing on pros. What the hell does that mean? Well, there's pros and do-it-yourselfers, right? DIY. The DIY, we heard in Home Depot's report, was about 45% of their revenue. 55 now for pros. That was not the case before. This is a new development. Why is that happening? Well, because the do-it-yourselfers are not spending as much money. There's less home turnover. People are not moving into new homes as a result of higher rates, and therefore they're not upgrading as much. And the people who have stayed in their homes already upgraded during COVID, so they're not doing that quite yet. That's what's being said. That's not an assessment. So here's what's happening. They announced an $8.8 billion acquisition of the Foundation Building Materials, which is a distributor of residential and commercial professionals. So they bought them for $8.8 billion to expand their pros business. They also did that earlier in their year when they acquired Artisan Design Group, which provides flooring, cabinet, countertop design, installations, all for pro builders and property managers. So they're really trying to expand that pro business where they see the most growth potential. Their full year outlook was also revised upwards, Katina, man. They revised sales outlook higher, $1 billion higher. Now they're guiding $84.5 to $85.5 billion in revenue for the full year. They reiterated their comparable sales guidance to flat to 1%. And their EPS outlook slightly narrowed down to 210 to 235 for full year. And just to give an idea here, Joey, home improvement demand has been pressured by higher mortgage rates and borrowing costs, limiting do-it-yourself spending. Lowe's, Home Depot, they're shifting its focus more towards home professionals, as I was kind of mentioning there.
Yep.
So interesting look.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good. Curious to see, are they kind of taking the route of Home Depot as well, looking to diversify some of their customers, as you mentioned before, and how they import things? I think that's going to be really important. But once you see the do-it-yourselfers and these pros start to accelerate, that's positive for the economy. The home building starts growing. People start doing renovations like we've seen during COVID. Extremely positive. But one thing to note as well, too, as you punch through some of these resistance zones, there we go, it doesn't look back. So we're not too far off of those all-time highs, still about 15% or so, 10 to be exact. So that's not horrible. But on the trajectory that it's currently trading at, I would not be surprised if we go and test that all-time high or that previous high right here in some time, right? Considering you get this massive gap up, that gap is now filled. Positive sign. Wait for price to turn around in a test of some key levels. As long as these earnings stay relatively strong, I think that we can see lows testing that all-time high in the near future.
I definitely agree with that, especially if we keep working out in the same week.
Exactly.
Good call there.
And if you get a rate cut as well too, that might help influence the DIYers, right? They want to start buying, doing their renovations. They don't have to borrow so much. So yeah, that's another positive.
Yeah, and they start moving to homes. You know, you move into a new home, you want to customize it.
Exactly. So it's kind of just like a ripple effect, right? You get the rate cuts. People are buying more homes. They want to renovate those homes, et cetera, et cetera.
Let's go on, guys, to Hertz. They're partnering with Amazon to sell used cars. This is an interesting take here, and we saw a lot of corollary effects with Carvana and CarMax selling off as a result. So let's get to the headline. Hertz will begin selling pre-owned vehicles through Amazon Autos, allowing their customers to browse, e-sign, and purchase cars fully online before picking them up at Hertz, Randy, locations. They're going to start in Dallas, Houston, LA, and Seattle, and then they're going to expand to 45 different locations. The move, obviously, it boosts their retail visibility. You know what I mean? Provides potential for profit ship beyond just the rental aspect of their business. And here's the deal. Amazon Autos, it's growing. First, they partnered with Hyundai in December, and now they're growing with Hertz, and they're going to be able to sell Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet, Nissan. So growing expanse of different products on Amazon. Would you buy a car on Amazon Autos? Would you buy a car online, though? Would you buy a car online? Yeah.
Shop for a car online.
Okay. Well, yeah, we all shop for a car online.
Clutch, right?
Like,
It's like it's
It's
clutch.
not gonna make it.
It's not gonna race it over.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna take Katina Man's
clutch.
mic there. Assassino, he's gonna have Katina Man's mic, by the. All right, Randy's coming in hot there, so let's stop. So this is interesting to me because I didn't even know that Hertz actually sold cars.
Oh yeah, I didn't know.
I didn't know
rental.
that. Yeah, so did I.
yeah.
So apparently they actually sell cars as well. What's your take on this, Randy? Before we get Joey's look.
Hang on, I got a microphone problem
We'll
here.
wait for him.
Am I good?
Oh, SDEV is breaking out.
So, to go back to your question,
Yeah, go.
I just shopped
Yes.
for a car
Tell him why.
online, but you want to test drive it.
Yeah.
Right? You want to see, and I found issues with the car. Paint condition, wheel, is there curb rash, all the photos and the details that they don't give on the website that Amazon's not going to give you. Okay, you want to go see the car. You want to drive the car.
Right.
If it's a used car, a new car, does it have the features, the build list, all the different, how does it feel? How does your butt feel in the seat? Yeah. That's a thing.
Can I ask you
old guys
something,
like us, it's got to be a comfy seat.
If you tried a car, like say a similar car, like so the car that you bought, I don't want to say what it is, but if you tried it at a local dealership, and then like, yeah, okay, I like the size, it checks out for me, everything's good, I like the ride. Would you buy a car online that was similar?
So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I'm an F-150 owner.
Go.
I've had 2 of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a 2025 F-150.
Okay.
I know the motor I want. I know the trim level I want. It's an XLT. If you know all that, because you've owned them, you're happy with the vehicle, and I can go on Prime Day.
Yeah.
And
There
get
you go. Now we're talking.
$3,000 off.
Now we're talking.
Because don't forget, dealers have a markup.
Yes, they do.
Okay, they want your service. They want PDI, freight, the whole 9 yards. So is Amazon's model willing to forego that? So can I get
You know
a
they're
discount?
gonna do that.
I
They
know
know
what
they're
I
gonna
want.
do that.
Exactly.
And they're going to lure you in, Randy, with a low margin.
You're still going to go to the dealer for service,
that's the thing,
oil
right, the
changes, blah, blah. Okay. My question is, what if you don't like the vehicle?
Yeah. Then you're in.
How's Amazon's return policy?
Yeah, it'd be great. It's fantastic for everything else. I don't know about cars though, right?
So there's got to be a lot of fine print here.
Point.
Now, is the USDA, the United States Dealers Association, happy about this?
They're going to hate it.
Not.
They're going to hate it.
They're still going to be there for, again, service, warranty issues, blah, blah, blah. But the actual sales end of it, they make money on sales. Is it a lot of money? No.
No.
But it's something.
But did you see what some of the competitors, Assassino, if we can, this is Carvana stock. As a result of that, so Randy, we dropped from 344, we went all the way down to 318 on that news.
So they're going to eat Carvana's
KMX, CarMax, Randy. It recovered a little bit. It did drop down in the pre-market, recovering a little bit right now.
But go back to Carvana, and zoom out on the recovery.
Oh no, Vana's fantastic, Joey. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. We know this thing has been a rocket ship. There it is.
Insane.
Yeah.
You know what? I like the whole dealer model, and there's reasons you develop a relationship with salespeople, service guys, whatever, and they're willing to work with you. You trade in something, you're gonna get that at Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So there's a little give and take. There's that relationship building with dealerships, and they have to earn it.
Absolutely.
With Amazon, they're putting something on your doorstep. You know, deliver my F-150 to my door, and if I don't like it, I'll return it.
And you're not even dealing with Amazon here. You're gonna have to deal with Hertz. They're just selling to you on Amazon.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's Amazon's marketplace with Hertz supplying the vehicle.
Exactly, which we've seen before.
You know what? Will they get traction with this? Absolutely.
I don't mind it.
Will everybody buy this way, including Joe? Probably not.
What I want to know is, are they selling their rentals? Their rentals that they've kind of won off their fleet? Is that what they're doing, or are they just buying regular cars and selling them there?
Because Hertz has such a massive fleet.
And
Hertz,
turnover,
budget, all the rest.
right? Yeah.
They get discounts to the manufacturers. So there's a margin here that they can then turn around, and if they put 10,000 miles on a car, they can sell it and probably get the retail value back on the margin they've paid, because again, they buy so many vehicles. So if I'm Hertz and I'm going to buy 10,000 F-150s this year.
Yeah,
okay.
That does make sense.
Imagine the discount.
It's going to be huge, and then your margins are going to be fantastic.
Yes.
Assassino, are we doing it now? Okay.
You want me out of here?
Oh, Randy, he. Okay, they're asking what you're doing for a living, Randy. So I'm going to let you answer that.
What do I do?
Yeah, he's Randy. That's what he is.
No, I'm just here.
Yeah. No, well, I don't know about that, but he does everything. Everything you can think of. You want to build a desk? You want to program something? You want to set up a server rack? You want to do anything, this guy can do it. It's the catch all. Yeah, well, I don't know, bro. I've seen it with my own eyes. You're not going to tell me that what I've seen is not true,
I'm not
right?
shooting my own horn.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I do
classy guy.
IT stuff and a little bit of other stuff.
Exactly.
Something like that.
A little bit of everything.
I don't trade.
I know.
Well, not here.
Well, not here. Yeah, there you go. There you go. He's got a long-term account.
Smile you later.
All right, guys. Thanks, Randy. Joey, comments?
Same take there, right? Okay. Return policies, curious about that. What are the margins going to be like? That's my biggest question on that. And how much of the total addressable market is there people shopping for cars on Amazon? For me personally, I would rather go, I need to go and see the vehicle myself. I need to drive it, need a mechanic to check everything out, and I don't want the headache of having to return a vehicle. And warranty policies are extremely important as well, too. So I think that's something that you got to keep in mind. And yes, sir, let's check this one out here.
That one's all
guys, in Africa, a new generation of leaders is rising. The woman boss empowers them. We provide the training, mentorship women and girls needed to start business, create change, and build sustainable futures. We've already impacted over 10,000 lives. Your contribution creates the next opportunity. Scan the QR code, empower the next woman leader today, guys.
All right, Robinhood expanding into the football prediction markets. Good look here, and more money for them. Was that you, Katina?
Over under Dallas wins.
Oh, God, I'm not going to, football season starting. I'm going to have to deal with this again. Oh, God. Robinhood announced it will launch prediction markets for NFL and college football games, expanding, guys, beyond that traditional trading into sports-linked markets. The coverage is going to include regular season, pro matchups, as well as the all Power 4 college football games with trading windows open daily between 8 a.m. to about 3 p.m. every day. The rollout will start in the first 2 weeks of the football season with weekly matchups being added over time. So phasing this in incrementally, according to the article. The move underscores Robinhood's general push to become a one-stop shop for financial and the trading hub activities, including, of course, those sports-related markets. The vice president there, Joey J.B. McKenzie, called the addition a no-brainer given the strong consumer demand and the crossover between equity trading and sports betting. I don't happen to ever trade sports, but I know a lot of people.
Trade sports?
No, or sorry, bet on sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there is a lot of people that do both. And so I think it makes a lot of sense for Robinhood. So Robinhood highlighted surging engagement in prediction markets with more than 2 billion contracts, Joey, traded since the launch in late 2024. On the Q2 earnings call, the executive stressed their sports wagers have driven their strongest engagement so far, presenting obviously what is a good growth opportunity.
I mean, with this, Sharif, we know what's next, right? NBA. Right, and then after that, you're going to fall into the NHL, and you're going to get all these other sports on there. And guess what? Now you can trade stocks, make money on that, and then go hand your money over to the gambling bookies as well too. But at the end of the day, look at the growth of this platform. We've had gold memberships step in with over 1 million subscribers there. I think roughly closer to 3 million. We have event contracts now stepping onto the platform, and not only that, Sharif, you have just continuous growth in options activity. User activity, transactions, et cetera, et cetera. This is going to bring a whole different, what's the term I'm looking for? User base into this platform.
Tell 'em, Joey.
And we want to take a look at DKNG because they're not going to be as easily to trade stocks on that. But the fact that Robinhood has the ability to step into these event contracts, watch out. That's going to bring some massive, massive subscriber growth, I think, to this platform.
All right,
There's
man.
no questioning that whatsoever.
I agree.
And the more sports you adapt, the bigger it's going to get. So, fighting on there, every form of sports. I
Literally,
mean,
bro. Literally.
it's your one-stop shop.
All right, we'll have to wait how it goes. Like, and you and I have been talking about this. Our broker here, they just launched that. What do they call it? Event contracts, right?
Yeah.
So like you can literally bet on anything.
But we still can't
this has
trade
existed
crypto.
overseas, like in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
You could. They have betting houses that you can just walk into this, like on the street. Okay, you go in, you place a bet. You got to be over 18. But since I was there in 07 to 10. Dude, you could bet on like the color of the laces that somebody works out with in practice. What's going on, Katina Man?
Look at how
All right, go to Katina Man's screen there. What's going on with Palantir? The Katina Man short Palantir at that 154.5, and it's absolutely bleeding. It bled $1 quick as you like. There it is. He's in the club, baby. Get it, Katina Man. So Palantir coming off those highs, Joey.
But Sharif, at the end of the day, I don't think there's a platform out there where you can go and bet a parlay and then buy 200 shares of NVDA if you want to.
And that's the overlap we're talking about. But
So
I mean, like
it's
this general idea of betting on random. It's been around.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. But yeah, NFL, everything along those lines. I can't wait for that next quarter to come out because also we got these guys looking to tokenize everything.
Oh, God,
Who are they? They
that.
went from everybody being absolutely pissed off with them with the AMC GME ordeal to now just absolutely like starting to really grab a share in this space. And I'm glad that I'm a shareholder of this name. There's no questioning that.
All right. Yes, we did. We did hear of Polymarket and Kalshi and everything like that, Mr. Burkhat. Yeah, absolutely, brother. I mean, obviously, we were following Kalshi and Polymarket super close at the election. At least that's really when I started following. I don't know about everybody else, but that's really when I heard of them, and I was keeping a close eye on that. All right, let's go on to the next story here. Upstart Holdings, UPST. They're barely negative on the day, down 0.83, but they were up nicely, at least in the pre-market, but then, giving back a little bit here. So JP Morgan, they upgraded Upstart to overweight from neutral, but it's a bit of a backhanded upgrade. I'll explain why in a second. They're citing what they're calling more favorable macroeconomic backdrop with stable. I'm looking, Katina, man, nothing came up on Palantir. I'm actually looking, yeah. Katina Man's talking about Palantir now dropping aggressively. So JP Morgan's saying that Upstart has a favorable macroeconomic backdrop as a result of stable credit conditions and potential Fed rate cuts coming later this year. But they did cut the price target. So that's what I was saying, a bit of a backhanded upgrade. So they cut the price target from 93 down to 88, but that still implies a 43% upside from where we're currently trading at Tuesday's close, which was around 61.50. Despite the broader market rally, Upstart shares have underperformed in 2025, remaining flat while the S&P is up about 9%. The stock has dropped as well, 21% in the past month after weak quarterly results and concerns that are tied to the balance sheet growth and new convertible issuances as they raise money. So look, Joey, a lot of people talking about, some good risk to reward possibility here for some of these, lenders, buy now, pay later kind of things. But what's your look on Upstart?
I mean,
what the hell?
Short to
what the hell?
Yeah, that is some size right there. 56%. That's Katina Man's chart.
Assassino. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, his chart.
There.
Yeah. Joey's chart.
There you go. Bang. Yeah. All right, so I mean that's short demand 56%. That's quite lofty. And I mean, as for these loan companies, it's tough. Obviously, they can benefit from an interest rate cut as well too. But if you look at UPST from a technical standpoint, I don't even know if this is split. And that's not a good look whatsoever. So that's not a good start, especially when you IPO in 21. You go through that COVID run here, and then sure enough, boom, $404 to where we're currently trading at, $62. That's an 84% haircut. And I don't know if there's been any form of reverse splits here, but that is not a good look whatsoever. It's going to take quite a bit in order for it just to get back to these levels. So for me, when I see this within a company, it's just really unattractive, especially from a technical standpoint.
I agree. All right, let's talk here about what we're going to get today with the Federal Reserve. What do they call that? The meeting minutes for last time. Yeah. So let's keep an eye. So at the July 29 and July 30th meeting, the Fed kept rates, as we all know, at 4.25 to 4.5. But for the first time in 30 years, you had two dissenting opinions from board governors, Michelle Bowman, Christopher Waller, both dissenting. They were pushing for 25 basis points cuts, but they were the outliers on the FOMC. The dissent signaled, though, a rare fracture in what typically is a unified group, raising uncertainty for traders on the Fed's next move. So we're going to be focusing on the minutes today to see what was said. So investors will closely watch today, I believe 2 o'clock. The minutes, 2 o'clock, 2:30, 2 o'clock, Wednesday's release today of the minutes for clues on the depth of the division between the doves, who favor cuts, and the hawks, who are resisting them, since full transcripts of the meeting aren't released for 5 years. I don't understand what the hell this is behind. Why don't you just release them? Why do we have to see the minutes? The transcripts I'm talking about, guys, these minutes are the only near-term insights into the internal debate by the FOMC, and we know we've gotten some more data since that time. July non-farm payroll suggested a cooling labor market. However, the inflation picture was mixed. CPI came in better than expectations, but PPI was an insane 1 percentage point above, right? Both on the headline and the core number. I'm talking about PPI that we got a couple of days after that. And I don't want to say insult to injury, but to add to the pressure on the FOMC, you got Donald going after Jerome, and he's going after another FOMC member today. I forget her name. So Cook, thank you. Obviously, I don't know if he's going after her or she's committed fraud, but the Department of Justice is going to investigate her now. So a lot of pressure on the FOMC right now, Joey. I want to see what they're thinking.
Yeah. You know what? It's such a tough place that they've been put in here, Sharif. They're supposed to be their own entity, not government-related whatsoever. But then you have the pressure of Donald Trump being like, we need cuts. But then you also have Jerome Powell's mandate of price stability and maximum employment. So if we're getting upticks in data prints that we're not supposed to, and we're supposed to expect it to continuously cool off, I think they're in a really, really tough place. And I don't know how much a 25 basis point cut is going to do. For me, it's just the risk of just going through this whole process of quantitative tightening, and then you want to cut prematurely before you've hit that goal of 2%. I don't know if it's worth it at the end of the day. What is a quarter basis point? I understand housing is extremely, extremely expensive, but would you rather not have price stability than have some premature cuts?
It's a good point.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The price stability is definitely number one. Right. Anybody who's bought food in Canada, especially meats and proteins, knows that sucker is higher every month, man. Every month. We have not had any kind of control on that food inflation, especially for the more expensive food items.
And we've been cutting more than what the states have.
We're at 2.75 right now.
Exactly. Yeah. We were essentially toe-to-toe with QT, but then we were hitting cuts before just due to our economy, our economy being essentially trash. And it's true, like 1% GDP, right? And also, mind you, we brought in 2 million people within that year as well, which helped with that GDP print. But then our unemployment rate is like 6 or 7%.
And it pressured housing, dude.
Exactly.
It pressured housing up, which increases inflation.
And then now housing sales are starting to cool down, and people are saying it's a buying market. But at the end of the day, everything's still $1.5 million.
That's the thing, right? That's the thing. And I don't see that easing.
No.
I want to mention, guys, we got the 20-year auction. It came in at 4.875. So that's the U.S. Treasury 20-year yield. Marginally extends after 20-year auction, last at 4.875, okay? Because I know we had the 20-year auction today, so I just want to report on it. Adara obviously is out on the day. She is at, she's got something to do. All right, let's go on to the next here story. Assassino Estee Lauder missing expectations and cutting guidance. What's EL at? Let's find out what this stock is at right now. EL, Estee Lauder, isn't it? EL? Yeah, Estee Lauder. Okay, there we go. Where are we at, Joey? We're down 4.43%. So it was actually down worse, 7.76% in the pre-market to $83. In fact, it dropped way more. It dropped to about $76 after reporting weaker than expected guidance despite meeting quarterly earnings expectations. The stock is down 1.2% year over year, though it's still up 20% year to date. So from January onwards, here's how the report came in. They lost about $546 million in Q4 versus the $284 million that they lost last year. So almost doubling that sucker, not a good look. It was really pressured by restructuring and impairment charges. The adjusted EPS came in at 9 pennies, which was in line with expectations. But sales were down to $3.41 billion, down 12% year over year for sales. That is not a number you want to see. Skin care, makeup, hair care sales all slumped, so they did poorly, while fragrances We're the only division to actually see positive year-over-year increase of 2%. Their guidance, they cut that as well. Fiscal 2026 sales are projected to be between 2 and 5% increase year-over-year, below expectations. Adjusted EPS also missed. They're guiding $1.90 to $2.10. That's below the consensus estimate of $2.20. Tariffs, Joey, not a surprise here, expected to weigh on earnings by about $100 million, though management says they aim to offset more than half via trade programs and supply chain optimization. We also know weakness in China and Asia specifically continues to weigh on their core skincare and makeup categories. The North American brick and mortar also struggles. That persists while online rivals like Amazon and TikTok sellers remain competitive headwinds here, Joey.
Like, look at this name. I don't know.
Jeez
I don't know.
Louise,
Yeah, like
bro.
if you're talking about a fall from grace here, Sharif, with little to no
What
recovery.
the helly?
Yeah, that's not good. And I mean, shout out to our guy. We love Jim Cramer, and this is one of his favorite names. I'm pretty sure Katina Man can recall. He used to love Estee Lauder, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case right now. It's
Elf.
No, I'm saying Kramer loved Estee, right? He would always talk about Estee Lauder.
And your boy, yeah, that's
He liked
Uncle
Ulta
Warren.
Beauty more
Uncle Warren
than
as well.
Than Estee? Yeah, okay. He always talked about Estee. So, I mean, yeah, it's clownery right there. That's most definitely. Yeah, there was someone said that in the chat, but that's a really, really tough look right here.
Ugly, bro.
Very, very ugly. I don't know if you'll ever, as our friend Joe Exotical would like to say, I don't know if you will ever financially recover from that.
Ouch. THAR broke 250. Yeah, I'm looking right at it. It's working. It's working. You're not wrong there, Bovin. I'm going to keep my eye on THAR as well as you guys if you're interested in the small cap gappers. THAR, THAR seems to be making, yeah, there it is. Seems to be making at a bottom here, Assassino, at around the volume weighted average price, and now it's breaking through that level. Let's see if THAR can maintain that price above 50 pennies. And then we'll maybe get going back into that $3 area. It's still up 114%, so it didn't give back too much quite yet. Let's go on to the next story. Baidu, Q2 earnings, weak ads, but strong AI growth is the headline. Let's talk more about it. Their Q2 revenue fell 3.6% year over year. They're printed about 32 billion and three-quarter yuan, which is about $4.5 billion. That was in line with the estimates, but dragged down by weak advertising. Their core segment revenue also slipped 1.6% year over year, with online marketing, ouch, down 15% year over year. What the hell is going on with Baidu, bro? Nobody advertising on that or what? The CEO, Robin Lee, he highlighted robust AI cloud growth helping offset the ad weakness, but the company continues to push their AI-powered Baidu search kind of to strengthen that long-term monetization. Their profit, they were able to shore up costs. That's how they made money. Their profit jumped 33% year over year, despite the revenue declining, what did I say, 3.6% year over year. So that was obviously an efficiency push there, taking home about 7.32 billion yuan, well above the 3.66 estimated by the street. This is a bizarre report.
Yeah.
They're also launching their version of chat, their large language model. It's called Ernie. They're into the 5.0 model now, the foundation model by the end of August with improved reasoning and complex task handling. They're also exploring AI-generated search monetization, though analysts expect the ad to turn around to take some time. Last but not least here, Joey, a business that could be very high margin. Their robo-taxi expansion, they're expanding their Apollo Go driverless cars with Lyft, starting in Germany, first in the United Kingdom, and then they're going to weasel on over to Asia and the Middle East.
Yeah, so
I want to see what this does.
Yeah. I mean, if we take a look at it here, obviously not a great look. 75% down from that previous peak, and you can see we're starting to consolidate within this realm right here. But there's another name, kind of just the overall KWeb, right? So this is the shared internet ETF. And I know my guy Josh Brown was definitely buying this stuff off of the lows. So if you want that internet exposure, that Chinese internet exposure, I think K-Web is more or less the way to go. In my opinion, that is, right? Because you get the broader spectrum. But if you look at this from where we're currently trading at, you're down 64% opposed to what you're experiencing there in Baidu, 75%. Jeez. But the PA looks significantly better, starting to curl over as the Chinese government is trying to continuously stimulate the economy.
You want to know what they use out in China for brokerages? We use Hood, IBKR, Wealthsimple, TD. They're using this one, Joey, Futu Holdings, which also reported earnings, Q2 earnings, and they did quite well. Is it up on the day? Yeah, 3.4% for FUTU. That is the ticker as well. Their revenue surged about $676 million versus the $400 million they printed last year, a 43% increase. That's a quarter-over-quarter increase as well. The pre-market shares were up about 5%, paring back some of that now down to 3.4, but it was supported, by strong U.S. and Hong Kong trading momentum. I didn't even know that they were available in the U.S. I'll have to do more info on that. Their total trading volume jumped 121% to about 3.6 trillion Hong Kong dollars with the U.S. stocks and their Hong Kong stocks as well that they offer on their platform. Their client assets, so meaning that the money that or whatever, any other assets that their clients have on their balance sheet there increased 68.1% year over year, with the daily average client assets climbing 59.9% year over year. And they're also pushing that fintech crypto push that everybody else is pushing. Crypto assets on Futu's platform grew 43% quarter over quarter, highlighting the strong adoption. The company launched Moomoo Crypto. Moomoo. Okay, that makes more sense. A former sponsor of the show. That makes more sense. So Moomoo Crypto in the U.S. expanding beyond successful rollouts in Hong Kong and Singapore, and they're trying to build this new strategy, Joey. They want to be a one-stop global investment platform for your crypto, your equities, everything.
Okay, so I'm curious to see that because it says Hong Kong, right? I'm pretty sure you're not even allowed to trade Bitcoin in the rest of China. So, yeah, with the exception of Hong Kong, I think that is. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's looking good compared to some of these other ADRs that we see. I think that this could be potentially, especially as you get more adoption, and if they're allowing to expand the crypto trading, which seems to be a hot topic, especially in some of the Asian countries. Yeah. It's not too bad of a look.
That's not a bad looking chart, dude.
Not at all, right? Considering the previous all-time is around 204, you did get a pretty hefty haircut, but the recovery process has been pretty good so far.
Yeah, that's
considering a lot of like when you're trading these ADRs, right, and you head into the likes of Baba, it's just such a tough space to get involved with, and that's why a lot of individuals say China's essentially uninvestable unless you have the ability to pick the bottoms, which is a pretty difficult thing to do.
I know what takes out all-time highs.
What does?
Event contracts.
Yeah,
let's go, Futu.
So? Yeah, get in the sports.
Get everybody DJing into that.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you can just gamble sports and trade stocks all on one platform, why not?
Well, we know that people in Asia love that kind of thing.
Soccer,
Macau, like bigger than Vegas now, isn't it? Like, don't they have more?
I would have no idea.
Yeah, they do. I think like the actual amount gambled as well as the.
Well, I think it's a part of Asian culture as well too, like Eastern Asian culture. Yeah. Like you go to the casinos, it's obviously it's a lot of Asian people and they like to gamble and have fun. So why not?
Safeway tours.
Safeway tours.
You see those buses everywhere, baby.
Yeah.
They're always on the highway headed to the casinos here in Niagara Falls.
And then you always have the couple of them who just probably lost a lot of money smoking cigarettes out in front of the casino. But that's with everybody.
Let's talk about Snowflake, Joey, because they caught an upgrade today from your friends at Bank of America Securities. So they're up about 1%, 0.94. So Bank of America raised Snowflake from from neutral and lifted the price target up from 220 to 240. The new target, signals about a 25% upside from yesterday's close, with analysts citing here improving demand and AI growth prospects. Where have we heard about that? Their Q2 revenue outlook is positive. They expect Q2 product revenue to be about $1.06 billion, which would be about 2.5% above the company guidance, supported again by stronger web activity and customer traction. Their earnings are set for August 27th, so if you're involved There's your date there. It's seen as a potential catalyst for the stock, so I'm assuming Bank of America expects a very positive report. With respect to the AI and data growth momentum, customers are increasingly viewing Snowflake as core to their AI stack, especially in Snowpark and Cortex AI, not like I know what either of those are. And over 50% of surveyed customers already use Snowflake for AI workloads, underscoring its pivot to a broader AI platform. So not a bad look here for Snow, Joey. I mean, I don't know what the daily looks like on this bad boy. Let's have a quick look.
Not too beautiful.
Not too beautiful. Show 'em.
Considering, like, for me personally, it's like we're seeing cloud growth across all of the big names as well, too. And to see what we got here in Snowflake, not the best look there, Sharif. I mean, if you want to go back to this previous all-time high of $430, it's where we're currently trading at. That's 55%. So essentially, the stock is going to need to double just to get back to those specific levels.
That's a hell of a resistance level. It keeps rejecting it. Look at that area low.
Right here,
Look at
right? Right, this one, right?
Yeah. So that area low right there keeps holding it down.
Holding it. Well, I mean, it's broke through that now. Maybe you get a pop and a hold of this specific level, and you can get the continuation. But what we see and what we experience, repeat offender breaks through, and then eventually just starts chopping around once again. So, especially and it's weird because in an environment when cloud growth is continuous, and you don't see it here in Snowflake. So.
Well said, Joey. All right, last but not least, guys, let's talk about TJX. Obviously, we're talking about TJ Maxx, Marshalls. We have more variants of that here called Winners. I don't think you guys have that in the States. But anyway, big company. Where are they at right now? TJX. I think my cousin used to work for them back in the day. 154 billion, almost 155 billion dollar market cap, and it is up almost 3% on the day, 2.87%. They reported revenue, Joseph, up 14.4 billion, topping the consensus estimate of 14.17. Comparable sales also grew. Wow, that's very interesting. 4% year over year, not bad at all, supported by strong consumer demand across both the U.S. and international markets. I'm assuming we're international, and I do almost all my shopping at Winners, again, which is owned by TJX. Sales, pre-tax profit margin, and EPS all exceeded company guidance and expectations, so beat everywhere there. The consumer trends and transactions, they're saying customer traction increased across every division, highlighting that robust shopper traffic. Management credited consumer demand for the value-focused brands during uncertain retail and economic conditions, and they raised their guidance, man. Who can complain about that? On the back of the stronger results, they raised their full-year outlook for both pre-tax profit margin and EPS, all three categories, with the CEO, Ernie Herrmann, saying Q3 is off to a very strong start, boosting confidence going into that second half of the year there, Joseph. So I got to ask you, are you a fan of Winners?
Yeah, I mean, Winners is great. This shirt is from Winners.
This shirt's from Winners.
Yeah, exactly.
Like literally everything I got.
Yeah, I think they have great stuff. And it's weird to see this considering we're seeing some of the big-time players like Nike have sell-offs and struggle, but then when you have some of these discount stores as well, too,
Look
like
at
Winners,
this thing.
right?
Are you kidding me?
Would you ever have guessed that that was TJX? Never.
Ridiculous.
Right? And then you have someone, like, I guess probably the most popular brand on the planet doing this.
Look at that,
right?
dude. What a difference.
So I guess like
between
diversification is extremely key.
No, they don't, make anything.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
Tina Man's point about that.
Very, very solid point. But at the end of the day, they're selling clothes.
Andre, what'd you say?
I got it. It's a thing here. Yeah.
All right.
All right, we ready? Let's rock and roll. New traders, listen up. First month free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite, analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data. Global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description. So, Katina Man, my question is considering that we're seeing some of these retailers like TJX, Walmart, etc., selling these off brands. Like Walmart has Joe, right? Or no, that's or whatever. You know what's Loblaws, but they also have their own brand. I forget the name of it. So would it be better for Nike to shut down their brick and mortar and essentially just sell a lot of their products to some of these secondary markets? Yeah, that's all right. It was just a question. You can figure it out.
What's up?
So.
No, so I think that was the problem with Nike initially, was that they actually went away from the brick and mortar, and that actually is what wound up hurting them. They went all in on digitization. They basically stopped sending all their hot shoes to Foot Locker and all that kind of stuff, and they were just basically, they opened up that sneakers website where they were dropping all the new releases on there, and it actually wound up hurting the brand because it created less sort of excitement around it. People used to line up for different Jordan drops and all this kind of stuff. And then the fact that they started to go direct to consumer was actually one of the big mistakes, which is why they went in and brought in that old CEO. So I think that they've lost a little bit of innovation. Like, how many Air Force Ones and how many Jordan 1s and all this kind of stuff does anybody actually even need? So I feel that they need to get back to the innovation side of things. I'm not sure it's a retail versus anything else. They got hit with tariffs. We know that many of their clothes are produced in Vietnam and things like that. So to me, the more interesting name is Lululemon. I mean, that continues. I'm just watching the TQs right here as we continue to break a little bit higher. I'm also going long right now on Palantir, by the way.
Get it.
Instead of the short. So I flipped it up now. We were going short into that area. Then we broke the highs again on Palantir. I still think Palantir gets going now. There it is. We're long at 70s right now on Palantir. Oh boy. Keep me off the show for long, but we're still going to be over here trading a little bit. So there it is right now. We are now 30 cents in, and we didn't take it out, so we'll have to wait to see if 154 comes into play again. But no, Nike, they lost their way with the distribution. They should have, kept in those brick and mortar stores instead of just going all online. So I think that was one of the big mistakes. But I got Palantir to a 10 too.
Get it, Katina, man. We hope you print up multiple storms there, man. There it is. Yeah, no, I got to say, Joey, like 90, not 90, but like a great majority of my stuff is still Nike.
It's still Nike. Yeah.
And I still like their clothes.
But the thing is, like, let's kind of look at the opposite. A company like Gymshark doesn't own a storefront.
No, they don't, and they keep costs low by doing that.
And they're just, in my opinion, you say you don't see it, but I see it
everywhere. No, I got to stand corrected.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw it everywhere.
Literally, it's that brand that's just taken by storm, and they don't even have a storefront at the end of the day. And just everybody wears their clothing.
Social media, baby.
Social media, the power of marketing. Yeah. And we talked about this before. I don't see Nike advertisements. I'm starting to see a little bit more now, but in the past couple of years, I didn't see any Nike advertisement on my Snapchat, on X, or anything along
in the wrong
lines.
areas, on linear television, where it's going.
It's like, exactly. Right? So it's like, they didn't adapt fast enough, and I think that had a lot to do with the damage in...
Katina Man's got the fresh cut on. All right, I see you there, Katina Man. All right. How's the dude? Is Halim, that's right. Yeah. Halim.
Where's Halim?
He's been on the show multiple times, by the way. And the Katina Man's actually called him while Katina was on the show.
That,
and he's made many cameos.
That's funny, man.
Halim is Katina Man's barber, in case anybody's wondering what's going on. Here we go again, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Brother, listen, you're lucky, my friend. Habibi.
Just listen to me. Habibi, come to Egypt. No, I'm playing. All right, we're having a great time, guys. It's been an interesting day in the market. We started really aggressively in the red. Some stuff is recovering, some stuff is not. I would submit to you, the likes of the microchips, recovering some of them here from the very deep lows that they were at, but you still have most of these semiconductor names very decidedly red. We're going to see whether or not it has anything to do with the U.S. government's new strategy of taking equity stakes in these semiconductor companies, especially the ones that are taking money from the CHIPS Act. We'll have to wait and see how that all unfolds, but it's super interesting to kind of watch that now. In terms of small cap gappers as a CINO, there is nothing that I can really report on right now that's all that promising. Even SBEV, which kind of was breaking out while Joseph and I were doing the news, has broken down again, and this time it actually lost the 20 EMA on a wick basis. You'll see that yellow line was defended multiple times early on. That's a 20 EMA. And it got decidedly broken here before recovering and getting right back above it. So nothing for me. CPOP not doing it for me. SNDL, we took that out. THAR, we were talking about this one, possibly breaking out about that 2.5. Ends up double topping at the 2.5, then breaking right back down into the third of $1. So nothing doing for me on that. If you guys have any new small cap gappers that I don't have notice of, by all means, tag me. I'm seeing MMA here break out Joey options, so this one might be down your alley here, mixed martial arts. I don't even know, bro. Mixed martial arts group, literally what it's called.
But who's a part of this?
Good question. We can look at ownership. Look at the ownership tab in, what's it called? In the Fundamentals Explorer there. Ownership. Let's have a look, Joey. Let's see who owns this thing. Penap Capital Group LPL, UBS Financial, Wells Fargo Advisors. They have 5,000 shares. That's nothing. That's nothing. Anyway, it's doing light volume, to be quite honest. For a dollar name, it's only done a little bit less than 3 million shares, but it is breaking out, so I just want to point that out above $1. But trade these carefully, guys, because they do seem to revert aggressively. KAVL, another small cap gapper breaking out again. Let's look at this one. KAVL, another very light one though, just taking out the dollar as we speak. Very respectful of that 10 EMA on the 5, but not the kind of the requisite volume you would feel comfortable punching in several thousand shares to. This one doesn't do it for me either. You know, Newegg has been fantastic, but it's $113, so it's a bit of a different one. We're just looking down here. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. CGTX. This one looks a lot better. CGTX, let's load that one up. Now we can have something to do with this one. This one's done volume, about 8 2/3 million shares, defending that $2 level right now, and a beautiful hold off the volume weighted average price right around noon, a little bit after that noon hour, and right back above we go, the 10 EMA. This is an interesting one. Let's load it up on the trading screen for the little time we have left on the show. CGTX, I remember this one.
Brother.
What?
Look at Ethereum go.
No, you're lying.
I'm not lying at all.
Good, man. Good, man.
Let's
Good.
go, man. Wow.
Yeah, look, Joey.
Yeah.
It's a buy and forget for me.
Yeah.
For the coins. Like, I'm not even thinking about them. They're not. I'm not selling. I'm not trading. The coins, I'm just going to hold on to and look back in a few years and then see what's doing.
Because you have the thing now, you can stake up.
Yeah, exactly.
Generate a yield, right?
I gotta find more information on that.
You can do it on there as well.
Good.
Too. So yeah.
Shout out to CoinDesk,
Shout out
man.
to CoinDesk.
Not play. So CGTX over here. We're gonna keep an eye on this one. I'd like to see this one hold $2. But the level to me is not really $2. It's $1.98. Take a gander.
Oh my
you wanna cover something?
Yeah, I'm going heavy right here on Bitcoin
go.
to see if we can get it continuing this break. As Ethereum just decides that it wants to go bonkers, let's see if we can get Bitcoin to participate. So this was our initial trade, add, and then we added, got stopped out, and I've been sitting in this. Horrible trade management at the end of the day, but I just had this feeling that if I double it up, we're gonna break through, and we're gonna break through with some momentum. And sure enough, we just got that pop right there. So I doubled that position up. So let's see if we can continue, because if Bitcoin and them want to get going, watch out. We can put in a serious session right here, Sharif. Way to rock and roll. Let's rock and roll here. I'm gonna hold this for a little bit longer. Volume is there, and I think that we can continue this. So yeah, big time move. I just had that hunch. As soon as we punch through that high of the day, you get that initial thrust higher, and sure enough, we got to experience that. We'll take some off at 65 flats if and when we can get there.
I like that, Joey. All right, I'm going to keep my eye here on CGTX. We're going to take a long on it. Let's give this one the old college try. Where are we long? Oh, we got 6s. That's poop. All right, well, whatever. We're not going to complain. I was trying to get 5s, but nothing doing there. So let's see. Anything below $1.98, it's all over, okay? Because this $1.98 area, that's the area that I'm looking at for support. Now, it has held. So if it doesn't hold anymore, well, then I know my trade is wrong. Otherwise, I'm being pushed out of the trade, in which case I can't control that. So we're going to keep an eye here on CGTX. Up nicely, 22.75. Now, I don't mind averaging in near that $2 area, but it will still have to be a $1.98 stop because of this previous area of resistance right around that level. So I'll keep my eye out on that. What else we got over here? Anything else breaking out? Nope. SBEV still below VWAP. We got CPOP doing absolutely nothing. Maybe this one. Let me show you guys one here that I had on the side chart, which I didn't say anything about because the volume was kind of not great on it. And it's been in a very aggressive downtrend the last little while. ALTS coming back from below VWAP here, building a position into that $6 area. We started looking at this one at around 5.5, 540, just got to 590 high a day. The ticker is ALTS. Sorry, I didn't throw that on there. ALTS, there we go. So you can follow along. I'll keep my eye on this one, but it's by no means, a rock solid trade or anything like that. Let's go ahead and throw that DCA. I'm going to throw it right around that $2 area. So we'll wait right around 2, see if we can get a little bit more if this one comes back in or anything like that. Katina, man, did you see what PanDub is doing, man? It lost the 50 moving average, Katina, man, on the daily, and now it's been straddling the 50 from the south side. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to take a gander at that. So the 200 period, yes, excuse me, the 200 period, my mistake. So it'll be nice to see that PanDub above the 200 period on a closing basis, Katina, man. That will give me a little bit more comfort there. So anyway, just wanted to mention that quick because I had PanDub on the side chart. So that's all I'm looking at right now, Joey. We're going to take an opportunity here to maybe take this small cap gapper CGTX long into the closing phase of the show here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got 12 minutes. This was not good. Right here. So yeah, you get excited and then sure enough things can turn around on a dime. So I got to get out of this momentarily, just considered I add up here. So it could have been just a push through, liquidity grab, and now you're starting to continue to the south side. So, I mean, one thing we don't want this to do is close as inverted hammers, and we're starting to experience that here on Ethereum. You can see it just made that final push north of some of these levels, right? So you break this, boom, and then now you're starting to close as an inverted. So I got to keep an eye out on this. I might flip. But I'm going to be cautious, right? So I'm not down too much. If we can get 65, then it'll be absolutely beautiful on this one. But if it decides to go back into the middle of the zone, I just got to hop out of this trade. So
all right, man.
Me?
No.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Yeah. No. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Ethereum starting to pull back a little bit, but I had a strong hunch that we were going to climb into this 33 level, and then we tapped it. With that being said, let's pull up the chain to see if there's anything at that specific strike to see like, hey, that's why we're rejecting that.
That's actually real. That's from Ring Magazine, man. It's from Ring Magazine. That's crazy. Can you double check that?
And an exhibition live on Netflix. What exhibition though?
Exhibition. Jake Paul and Tank Gervonta Davis. What the hell, Joey? Are you getting anything about this? They're gonna fight November 15th, State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Shout out to Hot Atlanta on Netflix.
I just don't understand how you go from trying to fight.
Paul's last fight took place at 200. Davis is a champ at 135.
Yeah.
Bro, what are we doing here,
He's like,
bro?
Jake Paul's like 6'1", 6'2". Gervonta Davis is 5'8", like 5'7".
Bro, what kind of stupid idiot? What are we doing? What are we doing?
It's money. It's money, right?
That's stupid.
It's
Katina,
money,
man, we gotta have some like integrity in the sport. The guy outweighs him by 70 pounds. They don't have to. Yeah, Neil's a good point. You don't have to have integrity. You can just be an idiot.
Yeah, and make money at the end of the day. If people are willing to watch it, then by all means, let them. But I don't understand how you go from fighting Anthony Joshua to fighting Tank Davis, the individual who's literally a fraction of the size.
Talks for Paul to face Joshua collapsed over network issues. Paul's last fight. Okay, so apparently that broke down over network issues.
That's the thing about
why?
Because the promotions, right? They're like, yeah, we want it on HBO. No, we want to have it on Netflix. No, we want to have it on Boxer. No, that's the horrible aspect of boxing.
That's crazy.
It's slightly embarrassing. UFC is not turning into boxing, and I can tell you why. Because Dana White runs it. He's not going to allow individuals. If you're the #1 contender, guess what? You're fighting a top 5 individual. There's no other way around it. You're not going to beat around the bush. You don't want to fight the guy? Well, guess what? Give up your belt. That's what the UFC.
Katina Man is saying Jake Paul pays his.
Nobody's done more for like undercard people.
Yeah, that is true, Katina Man, and women's boxing too.
I wholeheartedly agree with you there. Right? For me personally,
and women's boxing as well.
I think. Okay, so now UFC has had this deal with Paramount. Why isn't the average wage substantially higher than what they are? Right? So for me personally, a guy on the undercard in the prelims, I should say, is making like 30, 40K a fight, and if you're lucky, you get a bonus.
Yeah,
if you're telling me you're in the best mixed martial arts fighting promotion, and your lowest individual isn't making 6 figures a fight, no, by all means, if you're a gatekeeper or a veteran in the UFC, you make money. He pays you if you've been in there for a while, but to continuously stay in it, you're having like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 contracts. I don't think that's fair at all. Well, Dana White's back here making a couple $100 million a year. I think he has to pay his fighters much, much better. The champions, they get a bit of the pay-per-view, right? That's great. So you get base, you get your show money, you get your win money, and then a fraction of the pay-per-view, which is fine. But you have to be the best of the best in order to get that. I think the UFC base salary should probably be at least 100, 150K.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I think that they were notoriously paid lower than their counterparts in boxing.
Oh, it's not even close. Why do you think all these big names want to go and have boxing matches?
There you go.
Like Francis Ngannou, he's like, yeah, I made one more in his fight against AJ and Tyson Fury. Yeah, he's like 10x what he made in the UFC. And crazy. Potentially the scariest individual in heavyweight division during that time, right? And it's like, what, you can't even sign your most lethal threat?
Do you think it's because they're like an organization? So, you know, like, okay, you're part of UFC, you're under contract to us, here's what you're going to make, take it or leave it. Whereas boxing, you're kind of freestyling, you're part of either a promotion or you're on your own, so you can kind of negotiate freely?
They still have the same, like, you got to think about what Dazn did with Canelo, right? Like, they signed him $300 million, but you have to give us 6 fights. It's the same thing with the contracts in the UFC. Okay, you're getting $50,000 a fight, but we need 4 fights for you at that price. Well, right? So
that makes sense.
Yeah, so, I mean, at the end of the day, but what I'm getting at is that base needs to be lifted in the UFC.
I respect
considering every post-market conference, Dana White's like gross bookings, higher pay-per-view, higher, right? And it's not necessarily the case for some of these fighters.
Great point, dude. Great point, man. All right, guys, we're still holding CGTX. It did come up into my next profit taker at 9. I've wet the beak at 8, waiting at 9s, 10s, and I'm layering like literally at every penny here on CGTX. It's a good looker right now. But there are some other ones waking up that I'm not involved in, so let me bring your attention to them. ALTS is substantially above the 10 EMA. It's not the biggest mover on the day, nor does it have a consistent volume profile. You'll notice that these volume bars at the bottom, peak and trough. So volume not consistent on that. If you get caught in an area of illiquidity, you may not get your share price or the spread may be wide, so you need to be alert to that on ALTS. Also, CPOP is moving right back up. CPOP holding VWAP, also putting in higher lows. It looks like CPOP is defending the 20 EMA on the 5, at least from a cursory view over here, what could be a flat top break through 112, 113. I don't trust this one, but it's up 29%. Who can complain? And then here we go. What's this one called? CGTX coming back into the 10 EMA on the 5. Again, now I do have a dip trade at 2. I'm going to leave that one active. That will be a breach of the 10 EMA if it does dip down there, but that's okay with me. And if it doesn't, then I'll look to add it around 202, 203, where the 10 EMA is. It's the pickings are slim, guys, right now in small cap gap or world, so you're going to really need to be careful with what you select. And speaking of being careful with what you select, let's see if this is an example of it right now. A new one's weaseled onto the way. MSW, let's go to the 5-minute chart on this one. Let's go to the 1, actually, because it just started breaking out. Light volume, 434,000 shares, breaking out. It's about 27% in Greensville right now with a 99 high, trying to take out 190. Be careful with this one. This one looks like it may revert quickly and aggressively, but it could continue to go, so just be on the lookout. Yeah, that's all I got at the moment, man. ALTS and CPOP, as well as CGTX, the only ones I'm looking at right now. BMNR, what is that one doing? Shout out to Bitmine. Let's see what that one's up to. Shout out to Tom Lee and company. He hasn't been pumping that at all or anything like that. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. I'm being very facetious. 5-minute chart, that's a good look, Joey. We just printed the high of the day there on BMNR, 52.35. Look at that respect. for the green line on the 5-minute chart. There is the 10 EMA, umpteen amount of respect by that level. Let's go a few days back and see where BMNR is coming from. While we topped out locally there at $70, since we put in that double top at 70 though, guys, back on the 13th of this month, it's been a slew of lower lows and lower highs, much like these markets. Uninterrupted negative days as of late for BMNR, with a downward channel here, a very, very substantial downward channel, multi-day downward channel. We're breaking out above that channel right now, but we haven't done it on a closing basis, and we haven't done it by that much. So let's be on the lookout today for a possible change in trend on BMNR. And I can tell you guys that one of the only sectors green on the day is crypto. Have a look at my crypto watch list right there. There you go. Almost everything except HUT 8. Greenery on in crypto world. So yeah, definitely one of those ones to be on the lookout for if it really gets going here. But BMNR, not a bad looker, Joey.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to bring this kind of to everybody. I talked about it a little bit about on the show, but I never got in depth with it. I seen this guy on CNBC, and I was kind of intrigued on what he had to say. So the Ether Machine is a cutting-edge Ethereum infrastructure and yield generation company that's making waves in the crypto world. What it does is essentially, Ether Machine is designed to offer institutional-grade exposure to Ethereum. It's just not a passive fund. It actively engages in staking and restaking Ether to generate a yield. But anyways, aside from that, it's planning to go public via a merger with Dynamix Corporation, a Nasdaq-listed firm. Once complete, it will trade under the ticker ETHM, aiming to become the largest public Ether generation company. So capital goals, company is targeting $1.6 billion in capital, backing from major crypto players like Palantir Capital and Kraken. Leadership is, this is a guy's name, Andrew Keys. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, to be honest with you. I watched his segment and I was really intrigued on what he had to say. He said he wouldn't own Bitcoin with your money at the end of the day, yeah, which is crazy. But at the end of the day, his comparison is, why would I want to own a rotary phone when I can own a smartphone? And he's just like, just because of the staking factor. And I think that to lead into what I'm getting at here, that's what Tom Lee and company are doing, considering he's now on the board, is just to stake their Ethereum and generate a yield and consistent income of what they own by just providing a validation to the blockchain network through each single transaction.
Well said, man. Great summary there. Joey, I want to remind everybody that we have the Fed meetings at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
It's going to be, the Fed meetings, during the pandemic and during the times of high inflation, they were really important. We really dug deep into them lately. We haven't been really, parsing through them, but today they will really be in focus as a result of the 2 dissenting votes that we had at the last FOMC meeting. So we'll be looking for more details on what was discussed and what was said by each individual member. It was Fed Bowman and Waller who voted against maintaining rates as they were, and they were in favor, in fact, of a 25 basis point cut. So we're going to be parsing through some of those Fed minutes to see exactly what their reasoning were and how maybe some of the other Fed members responded. But Joey, options,
yes, sir.
It is 5 seconds after 2 p.m.
Yeah.
So watch right now. We're going to get the Fed minutes very soon. I'm going to work my way up to the big desk, parse through that, and report to them on it. We're going to throw it to the big boys. You and I back tomorrow.
Bang. Same time, same bad channel.
Ooh, the bad